Hello, everyone. Please give me a one in the chat box or anything, type anything and let me know you hear me. Good evening. Thanks for your patience in us getting started on our first live. It's a little bit more technical than I thought it would be. Let me know if you can hear me. There we go. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Kamar. Or Miss. I can't tell. So forgive me. We'll give a minute or two for everyone to get on. I see we've got Miss Lala here. Lala, test your mic.
Yes.
There we go. Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. We're going to give a minute or so. I'm going to go over a couple things while we wait for our live panelists to join. All right. We will start with some information on what we're doing tonight. Basically, it's our first live, so thank you guys for joining. We are going to be discussing politics, religion, societal issues, pretty much just a wide range of things. I'll pose questions our live panelists can answer, and we'll just keep it respectful and share our thoughts. Be raw, be truthful. Don't, worry about hurting people's feelings. If you are triggered, go ahead and leave the building, but we're going to have a grown folks conversation tonight. Let's give a couple minutes for everybody to join. I'm going to fix my mic because I have a little bit of delay and echo, so just a moment here. You there? I believe we're waiting for Terry and Terry. We have two Terrys. Just 1 minute. All right, we've got Miss Cat Cat. Hello, Cat Cat. Welcome to the building. We've got some free truth. If our moderator can go ahead and add them to the YouTube screen. So there we go. Perfect.
Oh, snap.
Well, welcome. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
In a minute or two, I'll go over the rules and breakdown once more so that everyone has all the information at hand.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I see you in there, Hernan.
Perfect.
My guy from New York.
I do have a slight echo for a second. I'm waiting for Saj to come up and help me get that worked out because I just hear two of myself, but it's all right. We'll keep trucking. So if we could go ahead and get started, I will call on you one by one just to introduce yourself. Tell me your name. You don't have to go into too much personal detail as this is YouTube and the world can see it. So you don't have to share too much, but your name or whatever you'd like to be called tonight. If you want to give any of your stances politically, religiously, just whatever you want to share, essentially. We'll start with Lala.
I'll be seen in the
You
camera.
can go ahead and share a little bit about yourself, give everybody a little background so we know where you're coming from when we chat tonight.
I'm a 58-year-old white female. I have conservative liberal views. I like both sides, however that works. And I like to have discussions that take people out of their comfort zone.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. Welcome. All right, let's go on over to Free Truth. Share a little bit. Who are you?
Hello, my name is Terry Robinson. I'm just, I'd have to say I'm definitely involved and concerned about where our country is going right now. And I have an open mind and heart and ears to listen and share and learn. And You know, maybe sometimes my mind can be changed. I think sometimes you change your mind on things that you learn. Um, so I think that, you know, people could have one stance at one moment, but then once we share information, we can be enlightened and have a better understanding of something. And then we can all grow by sharing and understanding each other.
Perfect. Perfect. I agree. Thank you so much for that. Kat, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear you perfectly.
Okay. I am a 53-year-old Black single female. Let's see. I have a lot of
single in there.
I have a lot of
Go ahead.
views, I
Sorry.
have a lot of things. And you know, case by case. And yeah, I just have a lot of views about different things. And like Terry said, you know, as you experience life, different things can change your outlook on life and things that have to do with life. So, you know, that's why I say mine's case by case, my views of different things. And as far as politically, you know, I'm not real in depth with it. I pay attention, but I wouldn't say, I'm just going to say whatever, independent, whatever that means. I'm just, you know,
Okay.
so there it is on me.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we're waiting for one more panelist. We'll give them one more minute. If not, we'll go ahead and get started because I've got some questions to ask you all. While I'm waiting for that 1 minute, Saj is getting my AirPod together. So 1 minute and we'll get rolling with the choo-choo train going. It's my first time live. I'm so excited. I'm kind of nervous at the same time.
Excited that I was able to log on without any problems.
Right. I'm shocked.
I know, because I really did have a problem in the beginning, and I left out of it, and I said, forget it. Then I was like, no, go back in, and I made it the second time.
All right, so we are going to start, and once they hop on, they can always join at that time. Keep in mind, at this moment, I do have a slight echo of myself, so if you hear me delaying a little bit, it's just me waiting to catch up with myself while I find my AirPod, essentially. All right, so let's just go over some ground rules while we're discussing everything tonight. Firstly, more than anything, I'd like everyone to remain respectful to one another. We are coming from different backgrounds, different views, different religions. We vote differently, we live differently, and that's just what I love. Us having different views makes us who we are. Don't overtalk one another. We're all grown here. If you hear someone making a point or really getting into what they're doing, don't interrupt. If it's something super urgent and you just want to jump in, type it in the chat. I'll, moderate and guide, but please don't overtalk one another. No hate speech. When I say speak raw, I mean that. Say what you mean. I'm not here to worry about, creating a super safe space where you can't speak your mind, but no hate speech. We're not going to threaten one another. I don't think we'll have an issue here, but just in case, I have to state that. No cursing if possible, please. I know some of us have a little potty mouth from time to time, but in order to keep it family friendly, we'll try to keep the cursing down to a minimum. And then lastly, YouTube has some issues with certain words that are triggering. So let's not use certain words. It begins with an R, ends with an E, and it's when someone forces themselves on someone else, we won't use that. You can use the word grape instead. We will also, hold on, switching mics for a sec. All right, can you guys still hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right. And in place of, we'll just basically say unaliving someone, and you guys know what I'm talking about. Let's not use the M word that ends with an R. We will say unalive. Those kinds of things get us taken off of YouTube, so we'll just avoid those words in general. If you have any questions or you're unsure of something, just go ahead and type in the chat box, and I'll be sure to answer you guys quickly. Saj is also on the line and can answer any questions. We have Demi and Sierra in the comments on YouTube that can act as moderators should we have more guests join us. It might not be too bad tonight as it's our first live, so there aren't too many people here, but as we keep going, I'm hoping to have hundreds and thousands of viewers, but let's go ahead and get started. The first question I'd like to ask the room, have you experienced racism in your lifespan where you currently live in California, essentially? We'll start with you, Kat. Have you experienced racism?
Absolutely, to the maximum in my book. With let's see, a certain county. Yep, and it was the police, and
Okay.
yes, it was. I've experienced racism before, but of course, at different levels. This level was the maximum, and it was. They went out of their way to make up stories and everything to keep me in jail. But I fought the system for 8 months and came out dismissed. But yes, I did experience it in a way that I never have. It was kind of scary because that was between not life and death, but my freedom.
Gotcha.
And other racism things that I've experienced didn't have, it was just small play. But when it comes to racism and racial discrimination and your freedom, it's a big thing.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Lala, have you experienced any racism?
Not towards myself. I date black men, so I have seen racism aimed towards my relationship or my man. Yes, I've been victim of stereotypes, but that's life. It's not.
Right.
It's not anything that hurt me. But yes, I've seen racism firsthand. What your mother was talking about.
Yeah.
Y'all have been through a lot together over the years. I'm sure you've seen a lot and done a lot. So,
Oh yeah.
What about you, Mr. Free Truth? Any racism?
Yeah, I have here and there over my lifetime. I'm 50 years old now, and I would say it was more prevalent more years ago, but still there's a times here and there that it's still practiced. Yes, I've been pulled over for not having for miscellaneous reasons that were not true, or they had to, people. I just say, yeah, with the law. I was fighting for my daughter, and I seen a lot of bias in the court system to how racism doesn't have to be in just color; it could be male, female.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
So I would say, have I seen that? Yes. It's a lot of people in today's society want to force their views on you, and expect that, or they think they're right or they're correct. Like one of the incidences that I feel it might not have been racism, but it was classism, which all of these things still fall in that
racism.
And basically, it was something to where I'm at court. My daughter's mother is I'm an African American or Black, whatever however you say it, and she is Caucasian American. I don't know how you say that word.
Caucasian is perfectly fine.
Okay, and she was playing games and manipulating the court system. She didn't want to allow me to see my daughter. We had already had blood tests taken to prove that she was mine, and I wanted to have more interaction with her, so I taking her to court. Dealing with the court system, there was definitely bias. She hired her attorney, knows the family law court very well. She knows all the judges there. She knows other.
She started off in the positive.
Yeah, no, it's still positive. Because I would say in the end I'm winning because money and having and being able to speak well in terms that helps them understand, and then reading so that you can also use the law in regards to because it's about law, and that's where we have to overpower racism and class. We have to come with knowledge to defeat those systems that come against us. And basically, it was like there was just a lot of games played. Take the vaccine and have more time with your daughter. So then
And if you're not knowledgeable, not to cut you off, if you're not knowledgeable and like you said, know how to speak well enough to get your point across to the people, you're going to be having a hard time. You're going to have a hard time.
So and then that's when they'll play the race card on you.
Yeah.
Here's a dumb black guy wanting to have more time with his daughter, and he's fighting this, and he's fighting up against this Caucasian woman, and you got the Me Too movement, and then you have this woman who has an attorney who knows the court system, who knows all the judges, and so she's used to being seen in there. There's a lot of battles, but you could call, and I mean it's definitely racism, but people don't want to say that, but all of those things do lie in it, and even me being black, I don't use the word nigga. I'm not supposed
to. It's okay.
I apologize.
Don't worry, because I accidentally probably do it one time too. I'm trying to be calm.
Don't put the ER on the end.
ER?
No ER at the end of that.
Oh, okay, then I can handle that.
I said it with the A. But
good.
But like a lot of people just don't sound right using that word to me. Like I'm not really strong on cursing either. That's
right.
I've just never really been a strong cusser. Like you can get a curse word out of me, but it's very tough. I mean,
well, I'm a strong cusser. I'm going to say that. I'm very strong, and I'm very strong at it. Okay, and that's why I'm trying to be really mindful, because blah 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 blah. I don't need to be beeped all and get everybody kicked off and everything. Well, I won't use those other two words, but I am a strong cusser. I'm not gonna lie.
Don't curse. So, I'll drop you down if you get to cussing. I'm gonna drop you on.
I'm being a good girl.
But I think that's where the conversation gets lost, is when we start going down that path. It's two hot heads going against each other, because everyone can be, a hot head and go against each other and cuss at each other and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's about, the real conversation that we're trying to have, or anybody's trying to have.
Yeah.
Well, I can be happy. I'm a happy cusser too. My cussing ain't always negative, going, taking a direction.
That's a part of their vocabulary.
But I won't be doing much on here. This is different.
Can you answer that question? Have you experienced racism here?
So I would say a yes and a no. It's like a subtle way of doing things, how it goes out there. So not directly, we don't get, the society that I live in, the neighborhood and stuff like that. It's, dominant of the race that I am, which is Punjabi. So we don't face it like that. When we go to different places, you see the looks on people's faces. Like even me and Alexis, when we walk into certain places, we see the looks that we're getting and stuff like that, but never directly have I been targeted of that. And thank God for that.
I have a question.
I really couldn't answer that.
No, yeah, that's good. That's a good answer. Go ahead, Kat.
I have a question. So I know how it is in the black race, so I'm not going to ask about you, Saj, as far as racism in your own culture, because you know how the black race, we have, they have the thing about light-skinned versus black, dark skinned. Do you have that in your culture or your race?
Yes, definitely. That's, I believe that's in every race. People might want to act like whatever kind of way they want to act, but at the end of the day, you like what you like. You like what you are. People have something against somebody. I don't believe that nobody has nothing against no one, which is normal, which is a normal thing in a human being. But it depends on you acting upon it. It's about how you even respect the other person. I mean, I can dislike you, but respect you at the same time.
Exactly.
So regardless if I I agree with you or stuff like that, I don't have to be rude or disrespectful to get my point across or to even have a conversation. I actually enjoy conversations with the people that I don't agree with, that I don't see eye to eye with. So yeah, it's a big thing in our race, in Punjabi race. It's a really big thing.
We're definitely going to get into colorism tonight. That's one of the topics we're going to speak on. I'll answer the experience of racism question, and then we'll move on to colorism. Actually, we'll just go ahead and get into it. Me personally, I have experienced racism, not so much so. I can only think of a handful of times that it's really gotten to me. I remember when I was a teenager walking down Greenback with a girlfriend of mine, and two guys in a car yelled out the Nigger, to us when we were walking down the street at night. And then once more, when I was in my mid-20s driving through traffic, somebody flipped me off and yelled it to me. And then just most recently having an experience with the police, being pulled over and profiled. Didn't get arrested or, anything like that. I did get a ticket, which I ended up beating in court because it was, baloney. But I have experienced racism. I can't say in comparison to others just how much it is or has been, but I've definitely experienced it personally. And so I wonder sometimes, because I hear other cultures say, this person can't experience racism, where I believe that we all do to a degree, whether we're white, black, Pakistani, Mexican, Asian. I believe that we all experience it to some degree from someone, because part of me feels like every household has some level of racism, whether they want to admit it or not. And it's, sometimes taught to us or inherited in a sense, and we have to shake that ourselves. But yeah, thank you guys for sharing on that. I'm going to go ahead and bring up colorism now, because this is a topic that I had spent some time watching videos on and researching. Sajad and I had done 23andMe testing, and we got our results back, of which his was 100% Pakistani, and my results were cut across the board. I was pretty much a half and half, with the European and Nigerian and different cuts or whatnot. But I have always considered myself, if for the audience, Cat is actually my mom. And so you can see her there, and myself and my avatar. But I've grown up as a Black woman. I live my life as a Black woman. I wouldn't consider myself to be anything else. But here lately, I've been watching different videos where, the Black community is breaking down who's Black and who's not, essentially. The one drop rule was always, a big thing or in play for many years. And now a lot of, my Black sisters and brothers are saying that you have to be 75% Black to be considered Black. If you're not, you're mixed. So
I hear you.
So Free Truth, speak on that. What do you think about colorism? What do you think about the ratios, the one drop rule? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I would say this: if they really believe themselves to be Americans, what is America supposed to be? It's supposed to be a diverse country. So you're expecting me to live in a diverse country and not mix my race with someone else? So are we living in sex colonized? Is that how we're living now? That I can't be a part of any other race, or I can't marry no one outside my race. My kids can't be some other race mixed with me.
But I can't mingle.
That comes into hypocrisy.
Right. It definitely does. And we're going to get into the interracial aspect later too, now that you bring that up. But just on the fact of colorism and the one drop rule, I mean, Saj, this wouldn't apply to you because your bloodline, you're 100% Pakistani. But I know that Truth right there can answer, as he's cut, from a bunch of different things as well. So how do you feel about that, Truth?
Well, so what you just said, I've done Ancestry also, but like you said, we're united States, and the diversity should be expected. And I think that beautiful people are created with mixed races, and I think that it also brings cultures together to be able to understand each other better, to have a broader perspective on their thoughts, how each other interact with each other, how my wife is Caucasian, but my daughter, she's mixed between us, and she's part of the BSU at school, but she was trying to recruit people into the BSU, and from her, from the Black community, they're at her school. You ain't Black. What are you doing being in that program? And why are you sitting here speaking this language to me? And she cried. It became really emotional because she's never not thought she wasn't Black.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
there was
Absolutely. And I
never
can
a
relate to that.
Yeah.
So then and then also you have within the Black community, you have Black people, like I said, because you talk a certain way or because you you know, I guess I could say when I was younger, I grew up in church, in a Christian church, and my church was a Black and white church. So I hung with many different people. I have dated many different races, mostly white women. You know, and I feel that um, when when I was in some of the relationships with the sisters I was with, they would talk bad about me because
Yeah.
of that. You know, and I get it, and it's just I like who I like. I care for who I love. I care for who I care for, and
Attracted to who you're attracted to.
exactly. And so then I'd say even so. Then how do you have? So am I not Black because I choose to love who I love and like, you know? And Saj, one of the things you said you like, and I think we might have mentioned something like, I'm commanded to love you, but I don't have to like you, and I don't have to like what you do, and I don't have to surround myself with you if I don't like the things that you do that,
Correct.
you know,
I
that
agree with that.
I don't feel are conducive to, you know, bettering myself or someone, you know. So there's things to avoid. But when it comes to racism, you know, Biden is like, if you don't vote for me, you ain't Black. And it's like how racist, like the divide in the country, and it's racist, like racism color is very deep. I had a lot of friends who we speak issues, and like I'm not like I'm gonna say I'm a Republican, but I love Democrats. I have friends that most of my friends are Democrats, and these are my friends, but they're very upset when they found out that I was a Republican. I've been a Republican since my grandfather told me he was a Republican.
Yeah.
I was a kid. I didn't know what a Republican was. Now I did vote for Obama when he became, you know, but that was doing the Black thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that
Like I went against my party. I didn't go against my party, but I was like, man, let me give this dude a shot. And I see that voting like that doesn't work, and I don't regret it. But I see that politics is playing a game on the Black community and the white community. And when you hear politicians saying we're going to bring people together, but it seems like all they're doing is dividing and adding more confusion.
yeah.
And you see what party might be doing that. I mean, they're all out for money and gain, in my opinion. Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter. They all want donations to support the cause that they're pushing or the agenda that they're pushing. But then I had so many of my Black friends online saying, "Oh man, I can't." That dropped me off of Facebook and Instagram,
Oh wow.
and it's like, dude, we've been friends since elementary school, high school. What does that matter who I'm voting for or what party I'm in? Because the whole thing is united.
Yeah.
It's
But
united. So yes.
Go ahead. No, I was to what you're saying. I believe that politics is one of the hugest dividers among people in America. I would put it in the top 3 as a divider.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
You know,
That religion and politics, they're up there.
York, they thought I was Colombian. You know how all the Colombian brothers love me. You know, I mean, like we was good. Like that's another thing. Like I know, like I have a lot of Brazilian friends and a lot of Colombian, Belize, and all of these people look Black. Okay,
Yeah.
but they all speak Spanish, and so this is in LA and New York. These are like close friends of mine, and it's so surprising how they're quick to accept you. In Honduras, I had my barber in Los Angeles was from Honduras. He was my barber for 7 years. and you know they came over illegally. And it's like, but who they are as people, they came over here, they working. He owned his own barbershop, employed his other Honduras people. Actually the Colombians, how I met them was through the barbershop. So there's a lot of mix and mingling in through the barbershop actually.
Yeah.
Now I didn't even put those two together until right now at this moment. And it seems how when being born here in America and coming up, the ideologies are being taught to us from the time we go to school.
Yeah, that's true.
And
To what Kathy said, though, she said that racism and politics,
yeah,
those two things are dividing us. I don't agree with that. I do agree with the politics part, but not the religious part,
You don't
because none of the scriptures say to go do something against each other or some stuff like that. Not that I agree with all what the religions say, but as far as I know, that none of the religions say that. It's the person, it's the man that twists and turns the scripture into whatever he wants to and make it into that conversation.
I agree.
And
Well-
even for the politics, where does it say that if once I vote for the Democrats, the next year I can't vote for the Republicans? Who made that law? Who made that thing? It's people who are pushing this agenda. If you're a Democrat, you're a Democrat. If you're a Republican, you're a Republican. Either you can agree with 100% of this or 100% of this. And I'm like, no, there's certain things good in that and certain things good in that.
Yes.
So they would like us to be extremists. That's what they enjoy. That's the kind of divide they want between people. So when they break us into those two parties, the big majority parties, that's what happens. So if I say I'm a Democrat and then I say I do agree with let's say firearm laws, they will say, no, you're a Republican. How come you don't agree with 100% of what Democrat stands for?
Isn't that almost
that's
like,
where?
well, Jehovah Witnesses cannot mingle or associate or entertain people that are not Jehovah Witness. Mormons, you cannot, you can't receive their services or be affiliated too much. They'll interact with you more than Jehovah Witnesses will.
So
but
what I would say to that is that you're talking about religions that are made by man. So the Jehovah Witnesses, the Catholics, the Pentecostals, all these these are Christian religions. These are stemmed from Christianity. They're not a separate religion. They still have the same ideology. They just change it up a little bit. Someone says that this person is, they believe in different things, but the ideology still stands the same.
It
So
still
how
causes
would-
division, though.
It does cause division because
But that's a man creating the division.
But what
A lot of the religions are man-made. A lot of them, I can't speak on all of them because I don't know all of them. But for the most part, a lot of them are man-made. And what is man? Causing division. What has man done? Caused division. And religion.
So that would depend on your definition of religion. If you say that religions are made by man, I agree with you. The definition of religion is anything that your lifestyle. That's your religion. These people that don't believe in God, the atheists, they have a religion which is called liberalism. So it depends on how you look at it. So, but that's a different discussion. I would like to get into that, but I'm gonna let Alexis take over.
Yeah, we'll get into the religion in a little bit. Lala, are you still with us there?
Yeah, I am. I'm just listening, getting enlightened.
So we'll go back to colorism. You previously shared with us that you are a white woman. I don't know if that is an issue in your community. I know that your children are of mixed descent. Can you go, tell us a little bit about your views on colorism within your community or anything that you may have experienced with your children going through life raising them?
Well, I grew up in a pretty open house. I was never told not to associate with this one or that one until my mom got married to her second husband. And then I got to see what, racism was, and I didn't really like it. Fast forward to I have 4 daughters, and 3 of them are alive. One of my daughters passed, but my 3 that are alive, if you ask them what they are, and they're all rather light skinned, Brittany being the darkest one, she looks Puerto Rican. People always confuse her for Puerto Rican. She'll tell you that she's a black woman. And then my daughter Amber, she's pretty fair. She'll tell you that she's a black woman. And then my daughter Andrea is white as me. She'll
Yeah.
tell you that she's a black woman, and she'll get told no, she's not. And when she got her ancestry back, she's a direct descendant of a slave owner. So my kids struggle with not being black enough and for the black people, and not too, and then too black for the white people. So
Yeah.
I kind of felt for them, and you know, and I feel that, you know, that's my joint, because I just, you know, I like what I like, and so yeah, I've watched it with my kids.
Did you ever get comments from anybody from either the white community or the black community when your girls were younger, or did you experience anything?
You know, I've been lucky. Like, the black community has always been good to me. Like, I'm telling you, I was 14 years old, and there used to be this place on Stockton Boulevard in Sacramento called Brown's Paradise Lounge. And I was the only dot in the crowd. And one lady goes, "Do you feel comfortable here?" And I looked around. Now I'm 14 years old up in the club. And I said, "Should I not feel comfortable here?" And she told me, "Honey, you're going to be all right." I said, "I feel like I'm going to be all right. I've always been welcomed and made feel not out of place or anything like that. Not like a bad feeling. But I can't say that as for white people towards my black friends or my black children or my black nieces and nephews. So yes, I've witnessed it. Not so much against me, but be against my loved ones."
So
Okay.
what you just said is it's taught. It's
Oh
taught.
yeah, most
It has-
definitely.
Taught. You don't have those feelings towards anyone, and you don't want to feel sorry for someone that's been taught this, because after someone's lived this long enough, like, here's the thing, I don't, like, now that I'm educated in certain areas, I've seen there has been injustice towards the black community. It's blatant, okay? But at this moment, I have the opportunity to go and work and provide for myself. But with that being said, I have a criminal record. There are a
You
lot.
shouldn't say that on live.
Okay.
I'm just joking.
He's kidding. He's kidding. He's kidding. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I was young, so I made some mistakes when I was young.
No, we all
You're
make
good.
mistakes.
And so, it's when I go to fill out an application nowadays. I mean, well, not now, but I'm saying when I used to fill out applications, one of the questions would be, could I speak Spanish? You know what I mean? Are you speaking? And
Yeah.
so then those things they created. I wasn't happy about that. It didn't make me not like Hispanic people or the community. It made me feel some type of way against our system. And I look at everything as.
But would you say that's a system or that's the people?
I would say it's both.
So which part of it is the system, would you say, for that?
A system that is, they feel
Stereotypes. The system is built stereotypes, maybe.
But does that come from the system or does that come from the people? I want to differentiate between that.
Look, it could
Yeah.
come.
Stereotypes for people.
It comes from the people and their experiences. Because my dad owned a concrete company 18 years. Okay. We tried to hire our own all the time. At the end of the day, he had one Hispanic family that worked for him, father-son team 15 years, another father-son team 12 years, another father-son team 7 years.
That's funny that you say that, because I want to bring something up on that. And before we continue, though, I want to say hello to Belinda. She just joined us on the live panel. Belinda, before you got on,
Hi,
everyone
Belinda.
was able to tell a little bit about themselves. As I told them, we're on YouTube, so you don't have to go into detail. Don't give your last name and social, but go ahead and tell us about yourself a little bit and your stance. If you want to say your political beliefs, religious beliefs, just a little bit background on you, so we know where you're coming from in this discussion. Go ahead, Belinda.
So I know how to hit you.
I'm 47. I'm black.
I m- my political stance is really just null and void.
That's
I,
fair.
I really don't even care anymore either way. I voted all my life, but a lot of this is designed, you know.
Yeah.
So it's not really us really putting our input and our votes, and it's them making money off every situation and every person. I have 4 children. I'm a widow. Um, and
Okay.
me as a person, I'm just trying to be a better person like all the time. I'm just constantly trying to fix within. So
Yeah.
these type of discussions give me insight and things like that. So that's why I'm here, to lend an ear and also to give feedback.
Perfect. Perfect. No, thank you.
You're
Thank you
very
for
welcome.
Thank you.
we were just expanding, and I'll let you answer this before we go on because Truth just touched on something that I want to go into. But before we proceed, the question was, have you experienced racism? One, and two, do you deal with any type of colorism within your own community?
Um, I have experienced racism, but my racism, to me, it seems to be specific, um, dealing with other women and other cultures. The men, I have no
Mhm.
problem with any race. Like I
Interesting.
really don't have any,
Yes, that's
not
what I
many
said.
problems.
No, I'm just
But when
joking.
it comes to the women of other races,
Yeah.
because I don't look like the normal black chick, most of the time they're trying to figure out, you know, what's going on with her.
Yeah.
I don't act, you know, all the time according to, I guess, what they think I should act. But the vast majority of my racism is other women from other cultures just hating me, just stepping in the room. It doesn't matter, you know. You could just feel the instant like coldness, you know.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of my, you know, that's where I've experienced the most hurt, and especially after having such a difficult last, you know, 6 years, or yeah, 6 years. um I've really gotten just really a lot of nastiness from just other women, and I just can't understand it, you know.
Yeah.
And colorism, yeah, I'm a darker black woman. um I do feel like we are very low on the totem pole. The lighter you are, the better. They feel more comfortable, I should say. They feel more comfortable around you because you're lighter. So they automatically assume you have to be mixed with something, you know. So, oh, well, you know, hopefully the white side takes over, you know, during this, you know what I mean? Like it
I
gets
hear
like
you.
that. So with
Absolutely.
me being a darker brown, and me being proud, and me not being ugly, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I'm just being, you know, frank and blunt, like
Yeah.
not
As you
being
should
butt
be.
ass ugly. It becomes a problem when you're just trying to normally, you know,
Navigate.
deal with certain,
Yeah.
yeah, when you just navigating regular life, when you just, you know. And it kind of blind, although I know it's out there, it just kind of blindsides me a lot because I'm not really expecting it, you know.
Yeah.
But I can get up to a window, or I need customer service, and it's just nasty. I haven't
So
done anything,
is
haven't.
it from different races or is it from the same race? Is it for your own race or other cultures, other
uh
races?
oh, my own race is terrible. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. Black women are terrible towards each other. Like that's a given. Like
Yeah.
I don't even try a lot of times. I really practice keeping my head down, going in, getting what I need to do, and get out, because if
Yeah.
I'm looking around, it's assuming I'm looking at your man, your baby daddy, or somebody I truly probably don't want. And you know, so that it gets funky. But I mean, what I've been experiencing a lot more was my daughter dates, you know, whoever.
she's, you know, they're open. She's more open, and we went to a wedding. It was actually I thought it was going to be really fun. It was a Hispanic and it was an Indian wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So the male was Hispanic, the woman was Indian. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought they were just so beautiful, the colors. And, you know, so we came in there with big smiles. Like we were just so happy.
Yeah.
And it hurt so bad because we literally were at a table in a huge hall. It was just me and my daughter, not one Indian woman. All the men again, all the men, hey, how you doing? You know, come on, come get something to eat. You know,
Yeah.
but the Indian women, they just, I mean, they flat out just grouped up and just stared at us. And then the Mexican women, yeah, we weren't even, yeah, we weren't. They were just like, why are you even here? You know,
Yeah.
so we were invited, you know, and I brought an expensive gift. So I really wanted to take my liquor back. You know, I bought you a $200 bottle of liquor. You know, I did. I bought a $200 bottle of liquor. I'm like, you know, I can walk out with my stuff. Like, I don't even really need this, you know, and like, it was unreal for like 4 hours. Like, it was like they didn't even want to sit at the table with us. And I was just
Yeah.
like, whoa. And so I was trying to explain to my daughter that night, like, honey, I really don't feel comfortable with you being the only Black person there. And she could not figure that out
Yeah.
on why I was acting that way, where I felt so uncomfortable, because if something pops off, I gotta act Black. That's my child. You know, you don't have a reason to mistreat her. Now you're gonna see what what y'all, talk about. But I just didn't understand, like, why? Like, we didn't do anything. We were dressed appropriate, nobody was half naked or nothing. This is a wedding, we're playing respect. I asked, like, culturally, what
Yeah.
should we not wear? What should we not, I don't want to step over any bounds. And I'm glad I did not. We were going to adorn ourselves with the normal Indian garment. I'm glad we didn't do that, because it really, really been a problem,
Yeah.
but
That's
yeah,
So
almost,
that
what do you
hurt.
think though? Does that come from culture, the race, the politics? Where do you think that comes from? Where do you think that stems from?
Ignorance.
I think it's a culmination. It's a culmination of, I think, honestly speaking, I think other races in America don't understand the Black and white dynamic like Black and white people do. So when you see a situation like George Floyd and the whole country is in an uproar, and that doesn't happen for their same cultures, they want to pull all the stereotypes out the bag, but they're ignorant, but they're lazy, but they're this. Why are you guys, you can see the anger, like, how come you keep putting these people that you don't even like on a pedestal? And I really think that it just kind of, it's such a separation. It's Black
yeah.
people and then it's everybody else.
I feel like that sometimes as well. I'm not going to lie to you. And then it's even more cold that it's us against everyone else. And then we have the breakdown within our own community.
Right. And I don't want to live that way, of course, because my family we have everybody in our family. And, and it's just like, but you can see, and especially with the way the culture is right now, where, the Black women, we're everywhere, our bodies are being mimicked and everything. So that's another issue that comes up, like, and then we just own ourselves. We have a confidence, and it's not really a confidence, is we're forced to be strong and forced to be the light for everybody else.
Yeah.
And we don't want to, but we're forced to.
Tired
You
of
know
being
what I mean?
strong. Tired of being strong. Before
Yeah, and so being that we're forced in that light, other cultures look at it as, we're trying to take over or whatever, but that's just us. This is just who we are. Right, we're unique, we're different. I can't help if somebody wants a BBL because of what they saw behind me. I this is natural. I can't, we used to get shunned from it, now everybody want it, so it's just what can we do?
It has to be.
Before we go any further, we're going to let our newest panelist introduce himself. Terry, I know you haven't heard everyone in the beginning. We were able to introduce ourselves, excuse me. You don't have to give your full info, but let us know how you want us to address you, your age, maybe your racial background, and where your stances are, political, religious, and then we'll continue the conversation. Go ahead and tell us about yourself.
Is it me?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting that. I'm just like kind of new to all this. I'm more as a person who's going to listen to what the people
Oh,
are going
I'm
to
sorry.
say.
Hold on. I think this is Hussein. This is one of my
Oh,
guys.
okay.
I'm
Oh,
sorry about
Yeah,
sorry.
that.
yeah. She's thinking you're someone else. She's
Well,
thinking you're someone
hello.
else. This is Hussein. Go ahead,
Yeah,
brother.
I'm just colleague. Like I'm Sajid's colleague, and
Yes.
he like kind of invited me. I was not expecting to be addressed as like that. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
It's just that this is the first time, so I'm listening more in order to get an idea as to what the conversation's about before saying anything, because I probably know a lot less.
No, you're fine. You're very fine. Welcome.
Give us
Okay.
an insight. Where are you from? What's your name?
One thing that I did want to say, I just heard the lady over here, is that I really wasn't expecting that such things could happen, and that also in a wedding that does appear to be interracial. Like you said, it was Hispanic and Indian, and despite
Yeah.
such a wedding, for something so
Wonderful. Beautiful.
for lack of a better word, I'd say that it's for something like that was evil that happened.
Yeah.
And I think that it is a product of ignorance and hypocrisy.
Right.
I agree
So,
with you.
like it's more got to do with education. So irrespective of your circumstances, if you're educated enough, irrespective of your religious or your political background, or like I said, your racial background, if you're educated, you're not gonna treat people like the way we just had the story about. But if you're uneducated, if you're ignorant, or if you're hypocrite in your approach, then
Right.
obviously you would end up doing the things that we just had was done to our fellow lady over here.
But I think that
Thank you.
this
Thank
drives
you.
from the
Thank
social
you.
media. This drives from the same things that we watch on TV all day long, or
Right.
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, the things that we watch on there.
Stereotype.
So if someone, yeah, it's stereotyping. If someone does
Yeah.
this, oh, this black man, this black lady did this. If we're so,
Right.
if it's a Mexican or Hispanic, someone out there, oh, this Mexican person did this. But when it comes
Right.
to the white race, they talk about, oh, this mentally ill person did this.
Right. Yes.
God,
They don't give a
hopefully helps him.
Yes.
They go into
Yes.
that direction, and we have
Yes.
seen that through religion. We have seen that through anything.
Yes.
Like just to give you an example for that, like if everything we hear from the Middle East, oh, Islam did this. When we talk about
Right.
religion, Islam
Yeah.
did that.
Right.
These people that are extremists out there, they're part of the Islamic group, so they're the ones that are doing it. It's the Islam people that can't control their emotions. They can't express their feelings without
Right.
oppressing
Right.
people. But they don't understand that this mentality comes from social media, that these people are
Right.
driving
The
into these
division.
people.
Right.
That we never heard someone say, "Oh, this Christian did this," or this Jew did this, or this Buddhist did this. We never hear about these things, but the only thing we
Exactly.
hear on the TV is Islam. They did this. They're extremists. They can't
Right.
control their emotions. It's
Or if
just
you're
the
black.
same
I
rant
guess
that they're going on.
I guess
And
the
it's
scenario
pushed
of the
too.
this
It's
race
pushed.
got-
On
Yes.
your feed, you'll see a lot more, like, especially like, I don't know how everybody's social media, but like on my feed being black, it irritates me that you can't show nothing good, but you have all these things, platforms that show fights, black people fighting.
Correct.
Like,
Like
that's
this
all
live
we
right
do.
here.
And
There's going to be people passing by this live and not even have an interest to look into what it's about. But if I was
Right.
sitting here and clowning someone, I promise you there will be 10 trolls in the chat
coming
just
coming
talking.
in instantly. Right.
Yes.
Right. It's how it's projected as well. These platforms know exactly what they're doing, and
That's their money
they
maker.
know.
That's
Yes,
how these
they know
people get
what agenda
100,000
is.
millions of views on
Right.
this stuff, is to be clowns on here. It's a
Right.
circus for these people. It's the same
It
thing that
is.
happened in the Roman era. It's been happening.
Right.
It's been
And
happening
you're
since
giving the
day
wrong
one.
people money. Giving the wrong people money to do it too, because they're ignorant.
Correct.
So do you guys then, and since we're talking about divisiveness and social media, How many of you vote?
Hmm.
Belinda,
Well,
do you
I
vote?
do.
I vote.
I do.
Okay.
Okay,
I didn't last year, but yeah, I do.
or have voted.
Currently vote.
I currently vote.
Okay.
I have voted. I have voted.
Do you feel that your vote counts?
Honestly,
No,
No.
no, 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 no,
I think
not
so.
at all.
Especially in California.
Exactly. It's too many issues that's being passed by us for our vote to be counting. It's too much. It's uneven. It's too much of a gap in between rich and poor for us to really feel like, how could our vote be counted? We're not voting for the no, we're not.
Smoking
No.
mirrors. I
you've
think
been
there's a
made
lot
to believe that it counts.
Right.
But no.
I think there's a lot of smoking mirrors right now
Yeah.
and divisiveness, and they put a lot of things in
Right.
the media to
To get
distract,
elected.
so that
But they receive a welfare check. Now, just
Okay.
technically, these politicians get a welfare check. They get free money to sit in Congress and not do anything. Senators, all of that. They get a check, a check from the government, just like someone who is collecting welfare would get. So you're getting free money to not even work on our behalf, and a lot of them are doing that so they don't have to get out there and work. Because how does your whole view and idealism change once you're in office? How does that? How do you stop fighting for the people that elected you as soon as you step in? I mean, it used to be a
Because they're
turnaround time. Now it's
they're
instant.
puppets on strings.
there they are.
Yeah, exactly.
You know where you want to be now. You got the people. You did. Told the
Right.
people.
Right.
And the
You
people's
know the
not-
crazy part is that Americans we like to post stuff black screens if someone from the black race dies, or this screen if someone
Yeah.
freed this person,
Yeah.
freed that person on social media.
Oh yes.
But
Yes.
just when these elections happened, I don't know if y'all saw these stats or not, but there was a graph showing from Wisconsin about the Joe Biden getting votes over 100,000 in a closed poll overnight. He got 100,000 votes overnight when the state ballot station was closed, and no one spoke about that. It was swept under the rug like it was nothing.
Smoking
I don't know
mirrors.
how people.
So I'm reading a comment now from Chelsea. It says the government spends a lot of money, time, and thought as to how to break up Black families. From
Of
Planned
course,
Parenthood to government assistance, it's all geared to get rid of the family dynamic in Black
Prison.
homes. Do you guys
Prison.
agree with that?
Yes. Yes. Prison is
So-
definitely, yes, it's a lot of breaking up.
Remove
Yes.
if you can remove the father from the home, you
Yes.
have really begun
Yes.
the destruction right there at
Yes.
that point.
They
Yes.
did that. They started that back in the slavery days, splitting the black,
Yes.
selling them off.
Beating Black men into submission, buck breaking. If I see my Black man getting beat down, how does my view of looking at him as a man diminish? Whether you want it to or not, that's doing some psychological damage.
Yeah.
Warfare.
If you steal a candy bar and my husband's getting 5 years, but a white man steal a candy bar, he getting 6 months. And then the part that gets me, that really irritates me, I watch a lot of like rehabilitation shows, like drug addicts getting on their feet and stuff. I never see where like white people, they be on drugs, they get better, and then the whole community invites them in. Let a Black man get out of prison or get off drugs. And I mean, it's oh no, you're a felon. But he's a felon too. So why does he get that? And a lot of times some of this stuff is not even preventable. Like they target you to pull you over. They target you to keep messing with you. Child support, they putting you in jail. Like,
Yes.
I just don't understand how it's supposed to be. We so lazy, but we got a lot of things like just chiseling away at us.
So for the people that will say slavery was, so and so hundreds of years ago, get over it. Do you think that the long-stemming effects of racism are still in play today?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Does
The
anybody
breakdown
disagree?
of the dynamics of the family. It's still in place. It's just done
Well,
differently.
I wouldn't say I disagree, but I would ask, why do you guys say that?
Why?
Because
Okay. I wanted to chime in if you all don't mind. moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
I definitely want to answer this one. So go ahead.
So we all got to answer for that one.
When
Yeah. Yeah.
So then say someone goes to prison or jail or whatever the case may be, you get out, you're on probation, they want you to get a job, but you have to put on the application that you have a record. So now you have put yourself at the bottom of the pile of being chosen, and then you also become a statistic to where you may have to reoffend to provide for your family. So
Right.
And let's throw this aspect in. Let's throw this aspect in. You are totally qualified because you have learned that trade before or whatever. You are totally qualified for that job.
Right.
It's just your record that is keeping you. And really, you're a number because a lot of these people don't even see that you're a black man or a white man. Well, on the paper, I'm sure they'll see what race you are. But that's you out, you know, and you're totally qualified in reality. You're totally qualified to do whatever that job is. Welding, if it's welding, you have a certificate, but that record, you know what I mean? And they'll count you down for that.
I agree with you. But what you guys are explaining is damage control. That's you guys are trying to control the damage that has already happened, but we're not going to the basis of it. Let's say, for instance, like a certain neighborhood, we can go pull up the FOIA records and see how many black people they pull over and how many white people they pull over. So when you see these statistics and you see that it's a black dominant neighborhood or African American dominant neighborhood, how is it that still a white sheriff is sitting on top? How is this man commanding these puppets that he has under him to go pull over these black kids in these black neighborhoods? How do we not go vote for those things?
Answer? You want to answer to that?
Yes.
You want to answer?
Go ahead first.
Because you have the reason why the white sheriff is on top is because the white man's got to stay on top. Because if I start implementing and allowing, because I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example of a person we all know. Jim Cooper is he was a black sheriff.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. But Jim Cooper, we're black. So we know our inner community and we in and out our inner community. Jim Cooper was one of the worst things that you could have ever implemented. If they put someone black, that's a face. That person that they're putting up there to say, oh, y'all got a black sheriff. Now what's the problem? That person is in no way, shape or form, literally on our side. That person feels like I made it.
I agree on the puppet part, but what I'm saying is this. Let's say we have a distaste for the government. Let's say I hate the president. Right. But if I don't go out there and either put someone in the political parties or someone from my community or someone takes a step forward, like these police officers, these people are pulling over all these African Americans, right? They're dominantly mostly white officers.
Right.
Why is there such a shortage of black or African American officers?
Because you're not hired.
Oh, let me answer that.
But you're not hired. They look for excuses to get rid of you. Why would I want to saturate it with black people who might look out for their own? Why would I want to do that? If I want to keep this community in the position it is. And the reason why you're saying, well, why don't we do this? I live in Del Paso Heights.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell you this is a network of
I want to make my position clear for you. Sorry to cut you off. I want to make my position clear. I agree with you. I believe that there's racism out there. I believe that there's these things out there. But I think the talk should be about how we can prevent and not how it's happening. I know how it's happening. You know how it's happening. But we're not talking about how we can fix it. What's the solution that you think is better?
But we're the small minority in this, even, you know what I mean? If we're pushing our campaigns, I don't know how deep in the black culture you are, but my kids are a part of the Black Child Legacy Foundation. My kids are a part of a lot of black organizations. If we're pushing that and it's us coming out there, doing the work. If we're asking for help from we need the other people that actually have stores all in our community.
Yeah.
To help us. Like, how could I
agree with you? How could I support you if I don't agree with your ideology?
Well, here's the thing.
Why would you not agree? Why would you? Wait.
The reason why I say that is this: if you want to push laws that only benefit the black culture, if you're
I'm not saying I don't want to be killed. I'm sure you don't want to be killed, right?
Correct.
I don't want to be killed. I don't want to be pulled over just because
Let's use the word on their life.
Right. Okay. Well, well. Okay, we're being slaughtered, but I get what you're saying. But isn't that just that's just? I'm not asking you to give us reparations. I'm asking that the same treatment that you're giving everybody else. That's all we want. We don't want anything different. So that means if you see me at a light and my music is up, but on the other side there's a white boy blasting rock music. Why are you trying to pull me over before you trying to? It's the same. We just want the. Let's be fair. You know that is why
rap music it won't get pulled over. You know what I mean?
Right. You know, I mean that it's those things that is being overlooked because a lot of people. You're not black, so you don't understand how when you get in a car, we literally are looking around and like, okay, where's the police? Like we just can't even get in a car and have a normal ride without paying attention to everything around us because it affects us. If something
I agree with that.
they're coming to us.
I would probably never be able to understand that because I'm not from that race. But what I'm saying is,
So
for years, you know, you say, what can we do to fix it or what solutions? Let me tell you something. There's a lot of solutions and there's a lot of ways to fix it. But we've been trying to, you know, the race, the police, the racism and all that. We've been trying to fix it for years, okay?
And you're talking to somebody whose husband was killed by SAC PD. Like my husband was killed by SAC PD. So it hits close.
Just for algorithm purposes, we're using.
Oh, unalived. I'm sorry. My husband was unalived by SAC PD. So this is way more touchier and close to home than just me saying what I see.
I respect
but
that.
okay, like I'm hearing a lot. I'm hearing a lot of things right now. We got to understand it's the narrative. They don't want the situation to be fixed. One, and
exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
I agree. They use a face. They use a face. They put a face there, just like Al Sharpton. Every time something happens in major in the United States, they come pull Al Sharpton the box to come talk to the community. Who all? I apologize. I got to say this. The black community is duped. By
I agree
black
with you,
people. By black people first.
Still, my question stands is I'm saying this. We know the Democrat Party, it gets the majority of its votes by the African American the people, the race. How is it that when we see these people getting elected time after time after time, why are we still supporting the same party? The biggest,
it doesn't matter which party we get destroyed. It doesn't matter whether it's Republican.
We have to clean America up. We almost have to push the reset button.
Right.
And people are afraid. People are the African American man, woman, child is afraid because they feel they're gonna get thrown in a cage. They don't know they've lost the power to fight. There is no more fighting anymore in the community.
I agree.
To go out and put their hands up, and they even used to vote. But now
I agree with you. I 100% agree with that fact. That's actually a good point that you made up. That's a good point that you said.
Too dumb. We're being told we're too dumb to vote. We're too dumb.
Or not even too dumb, too lazy. How about that? Too lazy, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of times, unfortunately, that is the case. But you know, and it's a lot of.
Do you think that the black race has got comfortable in this situation, or are just striving to get out of it?
And there's a lot of felonies, you know, felons out there that cannot vote.
We're not comfortable in anything. We're not comfortable in anything. But you know, you're not posing your questions wrong. But I understand why you're asking the questions you're asking. But if you don't think that as a community we haven't sat down and tried this, you know, we have. After a while, it gets to be, you know, it's like someone beating you over the head with a hammer. After a while, you're just like.
I got a question, not to interrupt you. Do you think the black
chips fall where they may?
Do you think, okay, so okay, we have a black, you know, got a black president and everything. Now, and the black race was all, hey, we got a black president, things about to change, things about to change. And do you think the black race lost a little bit of hope because Obama as a black
really bad.
Didn't do nothing. Didn't do not one thing. Nothing.
Hold on, wait a second. Your mic is borging a little bit, so your questions or your answer, excuse me, is like skipping out a little bit. So hold on a second. Can you hear? Try it again now.
Yeah.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, do you want me to ask it again?
You might
yes.
You might have to drop down and come back in. So
Do
just
what?
exit out.
Your
and
voice
then go
keeps
back.
cutting out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I need to exit out. Should I go
wait.
put my mic on?
It sounds like you're okay now.
I'm a little closer. Is that a little better?
Yeah, that's better. Go ahead now. I'm sorry.
Okay. So my question was, when Obama first got elected, the black race is like, oh, our first black president, he's about to change some things. He's about to go down, blah, blah, blah. And do you think the black race lost a little bit of hope in the voting system and the system period when Obama did not change as much as we thought or as much as we expected him to do? Do you think, a little hope was lost in that?
Yeah,
And that's
because he didn't. He didn't do
I never
anything.
thought that I never
didn't
thought
do
that
nothing.
Obama came to help the black community. I have really never thought that.
Well,
I don't
see,
think that he ever
for
did any
you as an
policies to help the
individual,
black community.
Saj, for you as an individual who's not black, you probably wouldn't understand the same view that we would
Right.
have as a first black president or someone.
He's
who's
not the first black
Right.
president. No.
He's
He's not the first
yeah,
black.
he's really not.
He's
He's the
He's
seventh
not.
black president.
right. So
Okay,
he's
but
not, but
he's
on
the first
paper,
one for this century, you know what I mean? That we've experienced, because
well, see,
the other black president, who was the other black president?
that's what I'm
It's
saying.
six,
So
seven.
There's many
It's
of them.
six.
There's
Yeah, exactly. But the
that's
one
part
we
of the
all
problem.
know,
That's part
the
of the
one we
problem
all
right
know
there.
of currently
no,
is Obama.
but do you see that you said that the first black American president, and that's not true? That's what's
But-
the
taught to
first that
people.
I know of. The first
No,
that
no,
I
no,
know
that-
of.
that- that's the point. That's the
Hold on,
point.
Kat,
It's
Kat,
taught
hold
to
on.
people.
So basically that in itself is the problem. So for
Right.
many people, Obama is the first black president. No. While you're saying different, I understand what you're saying, but for many people, Obama is
No.
considered to be the first,
I don't care how people interpreted that. That's not the first black president of America.
but
You
listen,
know,
listen to what I'm saying. I hear what
Go
you're
ahead.
saying, and I get it. But to many people who don't know any better, who don't know the history, who haven't done the research,
But someone's lack of knowledge or
listen to
ignorance
what
is
you
not
have
an
to let me
excuse.
finish. You have to listen to what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
So for many
Sorry.
people who don't know any different, Obama is going to be considered the first black president. He was marketed as such. He was promoted as such. He was displayed as such. So while you have your strong belief on him not being the first president, to many people he is. So I get what you're saying, but to the fact of he's basically the first black president, essentially, even though there were others where it's not taught in schools. It's
Right.
not we're not taught these things.
How about
So
the miseducation?
it's miseducation, exactly.
Right.
So
On
that is
purpose. On purpose, though. On purpose.
So,
Like-
how
so
is
what you
it
just said, you said that because that people think that it's the first president, I should be understanding to why they think that. No, if people believe 2 + 2 is 5, I'm not going to agree with them because I know 2 + 2 is 4. So because you're ignorant to that fact doesn't mean that I have to agree and babysit you to say, oh no, maybe you know what, this is what you're interpreting, or this is what they told you, and you're agreeing with that. That's the problem.
Okay,
You're taking your information from
question.
social media.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, go
How
ahead.
did you know that he wasn't the first black president? Because for me, going to college and learning black studies is what broadened my horizon. But how did you know that?
I read through books. I read through different sources. I didn't get my information from social media. I read different articles. I read from legit sources, not from
Well, I'm
Ballers
47, so
Alert
there was
or
no. I read books
World
too. I'm
Star
47.
on
There was no
Instagram.
social media. But
I
yeah,
agree with you.
for
I agree
sure.
with you. That's what,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. That's where the problem comes into, right?
Yeah.
So the people are driven by the social media platforms to get their knowledge, and that's not real knowledge. You can say you're woke. You can say this all day long about this stuff, but
Yeah,
when you
you're
don't
not.
know the root of the problem, you can't really speak on it. Because now, if I disagree with you, you're going to say I'm racist. You're going to say I'm bigot. You're going to say I come from an opposing party. No, I'm just trying to correct you, or maybe I'm just ignorant to it. So teach me something on it.
So why
Don't
do
give
you
me an
think?
article you read
Why
on
do you
social
think?
media. Go ahead.
Why do you think that is not like all the things that black people have done? We've invented a lot of things. I mean, it's a lot
So,
we've come up
are you
with.
talking
So
about black
why
people
do you
from
think that's
America?
not taught?
Are you talking
why
about
would
black
that
people
not
from
be
America?
taught? Yeah, just why wouldn't it be taught? I mean,
No,
history's
but you're
history,
not
right?
you're not understanding the difference. Are you talking about black people from America or black people Africans?
Well, we dealing with this
We're
country.
in America, so let's just
Yeah,
stick to
we
Black
dealing with
Americans.
this country. That's what I'm saying. Where our problems are here. I
But the
can't
problem doesn't
speak
start from
on.
this country. The problem
Nope.
doesn't start from this country.
But we're speaking on Black Americans, so we just have to stick to Black Americans because we can't speak on African Americans or Africans. Excuse me. We don't
Right.
know. We're just going to speak on Black Americans.
I'm just asking,
Well-
like, why do you think it's not? It's purposely not taught. Why do you think that is?
Because it's a colonized society. The Western,
It is.
the whole Western society is colonized. They're taught by a certain group. The religion that people follow, it's a group. It's a religion that actually hates them. It was taught in the religion to hate their
Right.
own race. So
Right.
I can't agree with those things. So yes, we want to talk about America,
but
but
don't
this thing
you-
is deeper than America.
But didn't you just say knowledge is power, right? So
100%.
if I run this sick country that I do, right?
Mhm.
If knowledge is power, if I
Correct.
don't teach you something, it's not like we could just know it out of nowhere, right? If
No,
I'm
but I
trying
didn't
to
go to
avoid,
Africa to go
I'm
learn
taking
this
it out of history
information, though.
books. But then it's taken out of history books. It's like you have to further your education outside of the American school system.
No. You have to further your knowledge, not education, because this educational system is made by that same white man.
Exactly.
Well,
you are
learning and
to follow.
educating yourself is learning. It's the same thing. Learning, when I'm going to research something, I'm educating myself on it. So
Correct.
outside of our school systems,
Yes.
that is you don't like you. I wouldn't teach you if I wouldn't teach you something that I know you're going to surpass me in, or if I teach you something, or I make you aware of something, that gives you more of a better feeling about yourself on the inside, and you can rise up better in your community. You feel better. But if I'm taught that, oh, we were just slaves and we were just picking cotton, and we don't even know how to talk, we didn't know how to read and write and this and that, like it puts us almost 100 and something years back behind everybody. But in all actuality, all this stuff that we're learning and all this stuff being dumped out there now is because of the internet. It's not because they've changed anything in our curriculum. They're actually removing a lot of stuff. So
Let's take a pause for just a second. I see that there's a new panelist on. USA is the Great
Okay.
Babylon. Who is that?
Oh, this is. Can you hear me?
This is my guy,
Yes,
Little
I hear
Terry, and
you.
I agree with his name.
So let's go ahead and Terry, you introduce yourself real quick so we can continue on. Let everybody know your name, your age, maybe a little bit about where you stand politically, religiously. Not too in depth, but share a little bit. Who are you?
I'm Terry. I'm 25. Black man in America, and this is good what you guys are doing. I'm just listening, taking it in, so I can have a good opinion if I have one, and that's it. I'm happy to be here.
No, thank you. I'm so glad you came. I appreciate it. Again, we're all from different backgrounds and different ages, different religious backgrounds, political views, and that's what makes this important, is because I feel, and I'll be honest, as a Black woman, I am 34. Before Saj and I dated, I had no knowledge of his culture, his people. I just didn't, right? So him and I being together, we have these debates within our home quite often about many topics. For those of us, for those who are close to us and have really witnessed us have these discussions, it gets heated. But because we're just really, we're really passionate about
ignorant of each other.
Yeah,
Ignorant of it.
we just love it, and we like to talk and learn. And I've learned a lot. He's learned a lot. So, forgive us if we are, posing these questions. I personally am just really interested in how people think and tick, and why we can't get on the same page, and why we do the things that we do. So I'm glad to have all of you here. I just wanted to take a pause and say thank you for taking the time out to come chill and talk with us. And all of you who are in the comments watching and commenting, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. So we'll go ahead and continue on. Let me check the comments to see if there's anything I need to read. So you have to research.
You said that why can't everyone get to the same page? What I think, my opinion on this is this: we can't agree to the same things, or we can't be on the same page, is because everyone's supposed to be different. Everyone has different experiences,
Yeah.
different things that they go through. But the problem comes from this: when the morality is subjective to objective, when people can put their own, okay, this is my standard of looking at things, like my morality. So when I say racism is bad, but there's some people that will say, no, racism is good. We're supposed to be separate. We're supposed to be this and that, right? So that tells me your morale is separate or different from what I believe in. So how can we be on the same page when our level 1 is not even on the same page? How could we build a building on a structure that's not firm? The base is not firm on it.
Racism and segregation is different, though. I mean, I kind of want to be segregated. I ain't even gonna lie. I know it sounds weird, but
No,
I
it
do.
doesn't sound weird.
Segregation comes
You
from
know,
racism.
racism is just hate. You don't even really know why you hate a person. You just hate them because
let
of
me
something I can't change.
Let me spin
know,
off of
like-
that then,
But
Belinda.
the thing is that,
Go ahead.
but the thing is that when you're talking about morals are probably subjective in nature itself. But
Right.
if you're talking about being objective, then you got to come up with facts and reasons that just cannot be denied. So
I agree with you.
if you're having an objective approach, so that is going to be more universal. I mean, this itself is an objective fact that we are subjective beings, and morals probably do have something to do with us being subjective rather than, but
And
yeah,
prejudice.
if we base our our beliefs and all that on facts,
Morality, yes.
then we probably are gonna have a direction to progress or to be able to walk on. Kind of makes sense.
That's my point. That's my point. If we can't agree on the most basic stuff of human life, like we know that unaliving people is wrong. If we can't agree to that and we say that, no, in this situation it's okay, but in that situation it's not, this or that, we can't be on the same page. I can't go 10 pages down with you and agree on that page with you.
Well, a lot of that comes into a lot of it. Okay, people can come together. This is what I've seen. People can come together on a certain thing or come together for a certain cause or mission. And then all of a sudden it comes to play. My right, my right to say, or my right to be segregated, but I'm with you, or my right this and my right. And that's where division starts coming in. And now we no longer are unity on this certain thing because people start expecting.
But what you're saying is that that's what people are proud of, though. The rights, the freedom of speech. Though that's what America stands on.
Yeah,
so if you
exactly.
have freedom of speech, you can't really expect anyone's rights to be respected.
But some of that speech gets people unalive, though. Some of that hate speech gets people unalive. So is that really free speech? If you're teaching others to hate?
Yes, it is free speech. Yes, it is free speech. The consequences are not free to it. The speech is free.
Okay.
So you can have freedom of speech all day long, but the consequences you have to deal with.
True. Okay.
So the First Amendment says that.
But also when I say rights, I'm talking about personal rights. I'm with you guys, but give me my 6 feet. I need, I'm the type of person, I need some room. We're together, but I need, the personal right. Let's see, what's a good example? Let me see.
So are you talking about intersectionality? So I'm black, you're black, but you're disabled, so you're different and you need your separate rights, or we're both women, but I'm white, so I need my different rights. So the intersectionality is what you're speaking of?
Kind of like that. My right, my right to man, I'm trying to think of the right word, but it's kind of like that. Not so much with the wheelchair when the handicap one, but my right to do what I want to do. Not good for the people, but what I want to do.
So self-serving essentially.
Yes.
Yeah. I couldn't. All of a sudden, I went blank on an example. But self-serving rights, when really we could drop some of those self-serving rights for the good of the cause or the good of the people. But a lot of people have a problem dropping those self-serving rights where all causes division. So that a lot of little things like that will, keep people apart. They'll come together, but your self-serving rights get in the way. And a lot of people have those. And when you come into a group of different personalities and different things and thoughts, those self-serving rights start to creep in, and next thing you know, you have division. Now everybody's broke up. The cause is over. It's
Black Lives Matter, for example. Black Lives Matter started out with good hope, and then It got
Right.
hijacked.
And it don't
It
even
got
have
hijacked.
anything to do with racism. It's just
Right.
that self-serving.
It got hijacked.
When you got the self-serving rights going on, then you got racism. It's a lot of things that come into play why people cannot come together, you know. And if in the solution, if we can get one solution, we still got 20 of them to go, you know.
So let me ask you this: do you guys think that playing or not playing into bringing religion into play would help society in a whole move? No? What are your thoughts on that?
You know, it depends. It depends on because a lot of religions. Now, again, the religion to me is the religions that has, you know, the labeled religions, the category, the different. When I say religion, because to religion it could mean something different to other people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm basically talking about Jehovah's Witness, Mormons. You know, the categories, the genres. Okay, they, you know, a lot of them are taught for division.
Organized religions, you're saying divide people.
Okay, is that
and
want to use organized?
Yeah. But here's the question.
Religions are devised to not take in any other people and keeping things divided and separate, you know, and so that causes a lot of problems too. Why people can't be united, you know, and so it's a lot of variables that keeps the people from being united, you know, and it's just not meant to be.
But I don't think still to that point, the religion doesn't have anything to do with people being divided, because in every religion it says treat people good. So if you treat people good, if you treat your own household good, that will reflect outside the house as well.
But here's the thing, they say treat people good, but also like Jehovah's Witness, they also say that they're not to be associated with anybody that's not a witness.
What are Jehovah's Witnesses? Tell me that.
Mormons, they won't mess with you as far as helping you and doing things like that unless
you're
Mormon.
No,
So
no,
there's
I agree with what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, where do these religions derive from?
You know what? I'm gonna say this. Like, okay, they have the Holy Bible because I haven't read any book all the way, Bible, or anything. The foundation of all the reorganized religions, all organized. This is my opinion, what I've seen. From the organized religions that I'm knowledgeable of, they all have the same foundation. When you get down to the nitty gritty, there is a creator, okay, and there's good and evil, and let's see, I'm just saying the basics, and let me see. It's got the same foundation: love one another, don't hate. So I don't know where it came from, but it came from somewhere, because all those organized religions have the same foundation when you get down to the nitty gritty, outside of all that other stuff.
So doesn't that tell you it comes from one being, one entity? That's God. Do you not believe that?
Well, you know,
but man has tweaked it to their benefit.
Correct. I agree with you.
Man has tweaked it. I mean, because I you know, I mean, man is out here doing a lot of damage, you know. I mean, if we just treated others how you want to be treated, that covers the gamut. If I treat you how I want to be treated, that pretty much covers the Bible. I mean, I'm not going to unalive me if I don't want to be, you know. So I mean,
I agree with you. Let me
man has been tweaking it for his own sick desires, needs, and wants.
I 100% agree with you. Those are oppressors. I
agree
with you. Let me give you an example on this. So let's say that every religion came from God. Would you not go for the religion that hasn't been messed with, or not hasn't been changed, or hasn't been interpreted the way humans would want it to be?
How would you know? How would you know? It is not.
You do your research. That's how you know.
Yeah, but if you do research now, let everyone tell it. They're the truth. They are the one. So how would
don't worry about what people are saying. I'm saying you do the research. You go look into the scriptures. You go look into those things of what caused this, how did this come into being, and do I believe in it or not? If it logically makes sense to you, you should agree with it. If the truth is presented to you and you feel like it is the truth, you should go for that.
Well, here's the thing. If it's the truth, and if you say it's the truth, then I need
this is hypocrisy. This is hypocrisy. Let me tell you why. Because you're saying that because these religions, these people have done this, that's why I'm not going to follow the religion, because religion makes them do this. No, it's the same thing as if I say a black man robbed me, I don't trust black people anymore. No, it doesn't have to do with the person's race. It has to do with the person himself. So the religion doesn't make any person do anything unless they want to do that.
Yeah, but it has the religions have their laws and their rules and their politics and how they want their flock to move.
Yeah. So
Okay. What's the marriage? What's the marriage
religion
Christianity?
touchy? Like that's a real touchy.
What's
That's
the marriage law in Christianity?
I don't know.
What's the marriage law in Christianity? Or what's the law for divorce in Christianity? Let me give you.
You're not supposed to.
Just do us part. Sure.
You're not supposed
do you think that's just?
You're not supposed to get divorced. And
So okay, hear me out though. Do you think that's how it's supposed to be?
No.
And if as a woman, for me, I'm gonna say, yeah. If I get married, I want to stay married till I die. Well, let's
if he does all kinds of things to you, or he goes outside, are you still going to stick with him?
Wait, say that. You went garble a little bit. We'll say that again.
So if that person does wrong things with you, or goes outside of the house and does adultery and all these stuff, right? Would you still stay with that person?
Well, I'm gonna answer it honestly. Now, if I was, because I kind of was in that situation, but it didn't, and I did my part to try to linger on and blah, 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 because I believe I am a child of God. So I try to linger on before I moved on. But here's my answer. And my answer is how I would want it to be. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I would say, yeah, get married, you stay married. And if you want to go, if you end up going out there and cheating between our 60 years of being married, you go out there and cheat at some point, I'm going to go, what? We're supposed to forgive and walk in love. So I'm going to go ahead and forgive you. You know what I mean?
What if it's a 25-year-old girl?
Well, you know what? If she was a 55-year-old girl, you still creeped out on marriage. So it doesn't matter.
So this is the problem where it comes from now. Now, you don't understand where this law came from. This law is not made up in Christianity. This law is made by Constantinople, who was a Roman emperor who didn't want the females to leave the guys that he had with him in his army. This is not Christianity. This is a white man's religion.
Well, well, exactly. But at the same time, it's still a good thing, because here's the thing. In reality, because I say this, because in reality, if you get married, that you should stay married. Okay.
No, you shouldn't. No, you shouldn't. If I cannot fulfill your rights, if you cannot fulfill my rights, I have the right to leave you.
Okay, here's the thing about that. A marriage, to me, the marriage is a job. If you want to stay married, you love that person, you are going to work to keep that person.
Marriage is not a job. Marriage is a responsibility. Marriage is not a job.
Okay, that's a situational. I did 20 years in a marriage. That's situational, though. Like, that is going to mean something different to everybody on this panel, because some women are going to accept a man for cheating. Some women are not. I mean, that's situational. That's just, it
is. And it's my opinion, what I believe.
And that's too broad of a spectrum to just lump it all in one.
No. But the point is this. The point is this. When you follow a scripture, when you say you're a Christian, right, and you say, I'm not going to agree with this law that's written down in Christianity, you're actually saying that I'm more wise than the scripture. You're saying that because it doesn't feel right to me, so I'm going to go against this law and go do what I have to do. But you have to understand the law that is set, it doesn't fulfill the human rights. If a female is being oppressed by her husband, she has the right to leave him. If he cannot fulfill her rights, she has the right to leave him. So now the problem comes into...
Okay, not to interrupt you, let me ask you before I forget. Okay, so you say, if she's being oppressed, now that's different. That's just like her getting beat down all the time and she need to get up out of there. It's case by case, because yes, absolutely, you should get up out of there.
In Christianity, you cannot do that.
Well, that's why I say organized, and a lot of other religions, you're not supposed to be cheating on your Africans. You get caught cheating on your husband, you're going to get stoned to death in front of the community. You know what I mean?
So it's not that's good.
Huh?
Do you not think that's good?
It's not good. You shouldn't be cheating, and you don't want to be stoned to death when your husband.
So you're saying that there should not be any consequences to your actions.
Well, to an extent, there is consequences, because trust is love. That's a consequence. That's a natural consequence that happens.
Trust is an emotion. Trust is a feeling.
It's also, whatever it is, it's a big thing, because it's an action. It's an action. Also,
I'm gonna let y'all get into it.
Let's just pause for a second, because we're gonna have differing views on this. I'm gonna bring you guys a little bit of facts. Since we're talking about religion. Let's talk about the people between the ages of 18 to 29 and what religions they currently follow. And this is from pewresearch.org if you guys want to check it out.
Atheism.
But not atheism.
I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna say they're not really following anything.
I'm gonna tell you guys what it is. So
I believe they're not really following anything. They're just living life, kind of.
Ma'am. 34% of people between the ages of 18 to 29 are Buddhist. 17% of people ages 18 to 29 are Catholic. 17% of people ages 18 to 29 are evangelical Protestant. That same age group, 34% are Hindu. 20% are historically Black Protestants. 15% are Jehovah's Witness. 22% Jewish, and 16% mainline Protestant, 22% Mormon, and 44% say they're Muslim. If we go in the age ranges,
Thank you.
if we go in the age ranges of now, let's say 65 plus, it's broken down a little bit differently. 14% are Buddhist, 20% Catholic, 20% evangelical Protestant. Such a small amount of Hindu, I can't even read it on here. I'm going to probably guess like, I don't know, 2%, 15% historically Black Protestant, 23% Jehovah's Witness, 26% Jewish, 16% Mormon, and a very small percent of Muslim. But that could be, obviously, this is gauged in the US. So these religions, if you look at them, a lot of people ages 18 to 29 have actually moved from many other religions, let's say Jehovah's Witness and Mormonism, and have converted over to the Muslim religion. Can you tell me why you guys think this might be?
I'll tell you why. I gotta take a quick break after this.
Yeah, you go ahead and take a break, because I don't know how
No,
many.
let me make a point on this. So there's 2.5 billion Muslims in the world right now. It's the fastest growing religion in the world right now. The reason for that is because when people come to go look for the truth, they find the truth. When people keep saying that I can't find the truth, everyone keeps saying it's the truth. Truth is not something that you can just say it's the truth. You have to have facts behind it. Truth is not objective, it's subjective. It's 2 + 2 is 4. It cannot be 5. So
I
when
just
you
have
go
one
look
question.
at,
Is someone Muslim on here? Because I got a really.
Okay,
I
so
just.
I'm Muslim.
I just,
I'm Muslim.
I
let's do
just,
this.
you Muslim?
Wait,
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do this, Belinda. Everybody's going to go around and everybody can say the
Okay.
religion that they either were raised under or currently practice. I'll go ahead and go first. I was raised Pentecostal Christian. I do not currently practice any organized religion. However, my background, it was based in the Christian religion. Saj, you are stated obviously that you're a Muslim. Free Truth, are you there, sir? Are you still there with us? Okay.
Hey, Free Truth been giving free game in the comments. Go look at the text.
We'll go ahead and come back to Free Truth. Belinda, your religion?
Christianity. I was Baptist.
Baptist. And Cat?
You were?
Yeah, word.
I was born and raised or Southern Baptist, but I'm going to say right now I'm more of a spiritual. I don't like to say Christian because there's so many aspects and different things that experiences that I have experienced personally. That do I believe in God? Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. Okay,
right.
so I'm more of a spiritual person.
Okay.
Spiritual.
Lala, are you there?
Yes, I was raised Pentecostal, but I'm more non-denominational creator, and I believe that we should all love each other. But creator is or who he's got, I'm not sure where he's from, so I don't have a religion right now. But I do believe in there's a creator.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She's
Terry.
agnostic.
Terry?
I think I was raised the same thing as Alexis, Christian or Pentecostal Christian.
Yeah.
But I'm probably still the same thing, maybe not. But I do want to say that I think people treat religions like picking a sports team. It's very it's just it's a popular thing. Religions, it's fun to pick one, and I think people pick one before they even do any reading.
They pick ones that feel good, that that feel good or sound good that they could relate to. Because I see people religion jumping. You know what I mean?
Wait, before we continue, everybody has to be able to state what they are. Hassan, right? What was your name?
Hussein. Hussein. Alhamdulillah, like Sajjad, I'm a Muslim too, and I cannot be prouder and more grateful And I cannot thank God enough for that. And like Sajjad said, that if you are out there to find the truth, then you do find the truth. You just have to have the pure intention, so you do get there.
Right.
Like that.
Right. Then you got to be open. You got to be open. You know.
Yeah.
And
You got to be
absolutely.
honest to yourself.
I agree
Can
with you.
I ask a question of the Muslims on
go ahead,
the
go ahead.
okay, so I've been like talking with my friend, he's Muslim, but one of my questions is when you're actually
Please feel free.
I don't want this to be like I don't want this
Oh,
to
no, no.
sound
You can
No,
ask anything.
Please
But
feel
No
I,
free.
problem.
I
Be
just
open.
noticed that it was like a lot of like Middle Eastern Muslims will come and say, "Oh, those are Black Muslims. They're not the same." And I don't understand. Like, is there is
Yes,
there
there's differences.
division in between the Muslims as
No, no,
like?
no.
Do you
Again, like
have
I
to
had
be
said at
from
the
an area?
beginning,
Okay, so
I'm
that's the
sorry.
ignorant.
I'll tell you.
Okay,
So the
again,
stats on this
question.
is this: out of the 100% of Muslims, only 20% of them are Arab Muslims. 80% are non-Arab Muslims.
Oh,
exactly.
So when you look into that, there's a group of people called Nation of Islam in America. That
right.
does that they take the ideology of Muslims, but they are not Muslims because they don't believe in the same thing that a Muslim believes in. They believe that their prophet is Muhammad, Elijah, the person who just passed away a couple decades ago. So
Right.
that's where the
Okay.
difference comes into. But I'm gonna give you this though. Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali. Do the research on
Exactly.
it.
That's
They
what I was coming
became Nation of Islam Muslims before.
Mhm.
Then they stepped out of America and they went to Africa. Then they went to Arab, Middle East, and they
Yeah.
became real Muslims. And they asked for forgiveness from that. They said that if we would not have left America, we would have never known real Islam.
Yeah, like Malcolm X,
Okay.
like when he went to the pilgrimage, he said that you wouldn't believe this, but I have eaten from the same plate and sat and talked and have been in the like same people with all sorts of different colors and different races and different backgrounds and different languages, because Islam did actually not only preach what you call the universality, but it also implemented practically. And I don't know what your name is, but you said that some Middle Eastern would say that, oh, these are Black Muslims. Again, like I said, that it is a product of ignorance. So it has
Yeah. Okay.
more got to do with ignorance and hypocrisy and lack of knowledge than got to do with a religion or its practice and its implementation.
Well, I'm willing to learn. So that's why I'm asking. I just want to know.
That's a good
100%.
question. That's a
And
good
there's
question.
I was raised a Muslim. I was born in a Muslim family, but I was not a practicing Muslim. And I'm not proud to say that. But when I went to go look into certain things, when I went to go, search some stuff up, I actually looked for certain things and it actually fulfilled what I was looking for. So I came back to the religion, even though I was born in the same religion.
I want to read something from the comments from Doab Relief. Dab, I don't know how to pronounce or what it says, but it says anyone who divorces his wife must give her a certificate of divorce. But I tell you, except for sexual immorality, makes her the victim of adultery. Is this a verse from something? What is
Yeah,
that?
it's scripture. It's scripture.
From
It's
the
scripture.
Bible?
It's out the Bible. That's out the Bible.
Okay. I was just
There's
wondering.
only two ways out of marriage. Yeah, your spouse, passing away, or adultery. But you're still gonna be committing adultery either way. I mean, it's kind of it's a double-edged sword.
I would actually ask you, how do you say that? What do you mean you will still be committing adultery?
No, I'm answering. She's asking where did that come from, and I said that's scripture from the Bible. And per the Bible, it's kind of like it's a double-edged sword. You kind of still would be, I mean, even if you left because your spouse was cheating, and and that's grounds, you're still considered, bonded, even till
Even after
death. That's why you don't
even,
make that vow. That vow is serious.
even after the certificate, are you still bound to it?
To me?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. Are you
Oh.
still bound to it? And even
being a widow, me being a widow, I'm not supposed to be out here remarrying, but I got to do me. I mean, my kids, we need somebody, so I don't,
if someone was in the same shoes as you and she was 25 years old, what is she supposed to do?
Wait, say that again. What's the question?
Well, I got a lot of life to live too.
He's asking Belinda.
But yeah,
I'm
if
asking
someone
Belinda,
being
if
that
there was
young,
a girl 25 years old and she was in the same shoes as her as being a widow, what would that girl be able to do on the religious factor?
well, technically, per the Bible, the brother could come in and replace the brother. Like, I mean, there's some weird things that can happen, but I would
Different place.
recommend she, move on. I mean,
Per the Bible, she cannot remarry again.
Mm. As long as she's it's a widow, right?
Can you cite that, Saj?
Yes.
Yes, I need some facts behind that because I believe if she's widowed or she's been getting that certificate, but you just can't go be out there cheating. But if you're being, you know what I mean, she's widowed and something like that type of situation, I believe you are allowed to still go get remarried. But so I do need a fact.
Terry Cotton
I,
says in the
I didn't even
comments.
check into it. Because I'm doing it anyway. I don't know. I didn't even check.
Terry
We're not
Cotton in the comments says, if a certificate of divorce is given, you are free from the commitment of marriage. So while we're throwing these things out, if somebody has the Bible at hand and can throw me the cites and the verses, I'd appreciate that. Because I do like to be able to get the verses and stats and facts. So if you guys have that at hand and want to throw me those verses, that'd be great.
Okay.
And so is Free Truth, are you still with us? I haven't heard you talking a bit, so I just didn't know if you're still there.
No, in the Bible, in the book of Ruth, doesn't it say Ruth? Because and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Ruth, her mother, she was married to I can't remember the lady's name, and it might have been Ruth, but she had married the son was killed or died, and she stayed up under that woman. She said, no, I'll stay, I'm going to follow you wherever you go to the ends of the earth, something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but and she stayed with that lady and took care of her, and it was her mother-in-law. And I know it was the book of Ruth. I'm not sure. Yeah, but she kept saying, trying to put her off to her other sons, or she kept trying to tell her, go marry, go remarry. But she said, no, I'm going to stay with you because I'm just going to stay with you. And I need to see, but I want to say that's the book of Ruth. Let me see. Go ahead and talk. I'm looking at.
So while you guys are searching those verses, I have a question. A comment from Terry Cotton says, very good, Kathy Cotton. So kudos to you. He says, we're going to go ahead and ask this question. Why do you think it is that a majority of Black people, I don't know whose microphone that is. Let me see. Mute everybody's microphone in the background for a sec. Why do you think it is a majority of Black individuals practice the Christian religion?
Slavery.
Then
We weren't
why do people
practicing
still
that
stick
before
to
we
it?
got over here.
Does anybody disagree?
No.
Okay, so and knowing what we know now, do you think that as Black people we should still follow Christianity?
No, that's why we're moving away from it. We've been moving away from it.
Well, there's so many.
I think we follow.
Go ahead.
I think we follow Christianity because it's the most practical to us.
In what sense?
The Bible, it talks about, I just lost my point, but
it's okay. When it comes back, we throw it out there.
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
What Terry?
Wait, Saj. Go ahead.
I'm sorry that I'm interrupting, but I just I did not know. Is your name is Miss Belinda? How do you say it?
Belinda.
Belinda. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the way you said about like a few moments ago that I am eager to learn. So I mean I'm just like saying this because you are eager to learn. So there's a book I would recommend. It's called Welcome to Islam PDF. You can Google it. It's good. But yeah, I just like because you said it, so it's like that it's not good that if a person is eager to learn and you do not let them know anything that you can. So
thank you.
And that's fair.
You. I appreciate that. Thank you.
It's called Welcome to Islam. Yeah.
Welcome to Islam.
Put it in the comments. If you can get over to the comments, add that to the comments, please, the name of the book, so that if anybody wants to check it out, they can reference it. Thank you for that information.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
To what Terry said earlier, he said that Christianity best fits him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I actually I was saying that because I was looking at a video earlier, and someone pointed out how how the Bible describes Jesus as black with wool, white hair, like snow white hair and it's wool, and his
Yes.
feet is burnt like brass, you know.
Mhm.
And I think that it warms up most to black people because we are black, and when people paint Jesus as white, you know, it's with in Christianity Jesus is white. It doesn't and then when we find out that he's not white in the text, it warms up to us. I've never read anything else that describes Jesus as being black, even though I haven't read a lot, you know.
So
But
regardless if he was white or black, though, are you going based off of the teaching or just because he's black?
I mean, I'm going off of the teaching, but I think a lot of black people appreciate Christianity because it describes how he is black, and it opens your eyes to how everyone's trying to make him white, and he's not white, and
Your
it's like
voice is
it's a
cutting
lot
out
of
super bad, but
Your
it's a lot of
reception's bad a little bit.
oh.
We're getting every other word or so, and I really want to hear what you're saying. Go ahead and try again.
So more
Am I
like
clear? Can you hear me?
familiarity.
Am I clear?
Yeah,
yes,
go ahead.
yes.
Yeah.
I just I like it for the teachings. I haven't read a lot of the Bible myself, I'd admit, but what I have read, it talks about, if we as the chosen people, if we don't follow his commandments, these things will happen, and they have come to happen, like the white man taking over America, and the Indians, the Great Trail of Tears and things like that. But it says if we do keep his commandments, then we'll be, higher than everyone else, so to speak. I don't know if that's what exactly says, but
Yeah.
and I just think Christianity warms up to black people the best, even though I haven't done a lot of research in other religions. But I
So
So
think
I would disagree with that fact because nowhere does it fit the black culture for what Christianity is. If you could just go off of the text, right, just in 20, 30 years ago, it said the white man is superior to a black man in the Bible in the 1980 version. So
okay.
That's again a human
I
creation.
correct. So there's a lot of depth to this. You could read a lot of stuff on this, and if you go back, like you said, talk about Babylon. That if you read those books, you would actually learn about where Christianity came from. You would learn
Right.
how it was created in the Nicene Church. You would see how the Trinity came into existence in the 3rd century.
It's
This
Right.
didn't come from
distortion of
Jesus.
creation.
The Roman Empire.
And it's hard for me to I can't
Okay,
sit
let me give
here
you an
and
example. Just like the Christmas.
wait, what were you saying, Terry?
I
It's
was
hard for
gonna
you to
tell
what?
him I'm not well too educated on the Bible, too much. I just know what I've read, which isn't that much, and so I can't really debate with you on this. But
And that's fair. That's fair. And to those who don't know, Terry's actually my youngest brother. Him and I, we grew up in the Christian church, and as an adult, I've not gone to church just based on the experiences that I've had. I
Right.
had my daughter at 18, going on 19, and that's frowned upon in the church. And just watching different things go down, the collection plate passing around. I
Right.
feel like the church
Several times.
the church has turned into something else, and it's changed a lot of maybe my age range and those younger than me, our views on what church is compared to our parents and grandparents who, like
Right.
Belinda said, the Baptist church. My grandparents were Baptist, and
Right.
I think that the more we discuss religion and reading some of the comments, a lot of the people, the things that they're saying, like Doab Relief says, God is in you, not religion. And Chelsea says, all religion is taught. I agree with these things because more and more I see and feel that people are just claiming something rather than actually living by the book.
Right.
So I talk about this often where people deviate from the book, and the representation that they show of their religion isn't always the best. And so for someone on the outside like myself, Saj and I discuss Muslim religion and Christian religion. And for someone, I didn't know anything about Muslim religion growing up until actually meeting Saj and us having our conversations. But the representations that we have of others' cultures and religions tend to be tied together. And for him, I try to explain when I view certain cultures or people, I tie their religion to them, whether it's right or wrong. That's how it's perceived, especially from a Black American. When you see someone of a different descent, you're going to automatically think like, okay, that's all together in one. And Saj disagrees with me on that. And tell me why I'm wrong on that, Saj. Tell me why I shouldn't associate someone's culture with their religion and hand in hand.
Simply because culture and religion are two different attitudes.
Should I
Sorry.
rephrase the question?
Sorry, I was muted. A person shouldn't link a person's a personal behavior to religion, because a human has free will. You can do whatever you want to do. You could be going against a religion to do the same things. So if any of the races, anyone unalive someone, in the text it says not to do that. When a person does that, he does that out of free will, which God gave all of us. So that's why you have to differentiate. I don't seek the truth from people. I seek the truth from what's presented in the books, in what I can research, what I can look at. And Islam, we don't believe it's a religion. For you guys, conversation purposes, I say it's a religion. But for hold on, what happened here?
Oh, we're pushing in. It's okay. Hold on. Let's fix the screen.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So for conversation purpose, I say, it's a religion, but it's actually called the deen. It's a way of life. There's not a single problem on earth that you can present to Islam and it doesn't have a solution for it. So Islam is not a religion that comes for damage control. It actually comes to prevent. It doesn't start from, if this happens, then start doing this. No, it says don't do this at all, so you don't have to deal with the consequences. As we came to learn, people thought that wine was good for you, but now scientifically proven, it says 0.1% alcohol is bad for your body. And in Islam, alcohol is prohibited. So when people go down that route, you either live with the consequences or not. But I don't base the religion off of people, because people can turn anything into whatever they want. That would be my hope.
So let me ask you, Saj, because you explain this better than I do. We're gonna kind of hop on to something else. Can you give me your definition of subjective and objective when we're going to be talking about a standard in society?
Yes. What Hussein was talking about earlier too, the subjective morality and the objective morality. People will tend to believe that morality can be whatever you experience in life. Oh, this works out for me, so this is the morality. Such as, let me give you an example. Like, let's say, for instance, if someone says 2 + 2 is 4, and other person comes 2 + 2 is 5, because I was taught that, it doesn't take away from the fact that the truth is 1. The 2 + 2 is 4, regardless of what you were taught or not. So morality can be the same way. If you believe that these certain things, unaliving someone is wrong, adultery is wrong, racism is wrong, oppression is wrong, these things are not objective, they're subjective. These are innate dispositions. A human being, scientifically proven, is born with an innate disposition to know that there's a higher being, to not do bad things. Okay, if I do this, I know morally within myself, you have some kind of regret that, okay, this is wrong.
Okay.
But when people take it to their own standard of, I'm going to just say it bluntly, is when the LGBTQ movement comes into play. Now the Christian churches are folding to that. The reason why they're folding to that is because they believe that morality is objective, not subjective.
Come on, man. Preach.
That's not it. That's not it. That's not it.
Wait,
Okay,
that's not it.
So now that we've spun there, and I see
that is not it. That is not why they're doing that.
Oh no, don't be fooled. That is not why they're doing it, but they are going along with it. Like at my church,
right?
Our piano player is well, God rest
we
his
all
soul.
know the choir directors. If you black, we all know the choir director is gonna be, you're gonna be a part of that. Them letters.
Is that Cousin Terry talking? Is Cousin Terry Free Truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, what's going on, big dog?
So what I was saying was that the Christian churches are folding to that because they see that statistically everyone is leaving Christianity. The fastest religion that's coming down from its size, it was the world's biggest religion, but now people are leaving it because of these reasons. When you can't stand on the truth and you fold to a certain amount of people or some kind of group, that's when the problem starts. When you change what God gave you and you try to put it in, interpret it any kind of way that you want to do it, that's where the problem starts.
Okay, so let's talk then. If we're going on that, if we're going to talk about changing what God made for those who
Yeah.
don't believe in
I'll be
God,
right back.
what do we do with that? How do you have a standard with someone who doesn't believe in the same God or even God at all?
So I do not
I
exactly
just
know
I
what
just said it. You don't
agnosticism is
even have to
about.
believe in
So,
God. You don't even
Right,
have to
for
yeah,
believe
basic
in God.
principles.
Nature
like that.
shows you.
Like,
Nature
Yeah.
like
shows you how to create after your own kind. You don't see two male dogs trying to create another puppy.
no,
That's
that is
true.
that
That's
is like
true.
one of the
I'm just
points
saying.
of reasoning
It
which you're
take
presenting.
religion out of the picture. God has made this world how He has to show you what right and wrong is.
Hmm.
So,
You
so
feel
just
it
tell me what
inside
you're
of you.
saying.
So
Do you
yeah,
know? Wait, do you know that this earth was created by you? That God is in you? Do
Hmm.
you realize that? That's why
I
that you
would
got to
disagree with
understand
that.
we are warring against spiritual wickedness in high places,
okay.
principalities. That's these men who is running these countries.
Right.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, one could argue that principalities and all that also come from power and all that. But I'm not getting into that. I'm just saying that agnosticism, I do not exactly know what it is, but it probably is something that says that existence of God can and cannot be proven. That is, it cannot be proven that God does or does not exist. It's probably something like that. So that's why when we talk about as Muslims, we rather base it on facts. Like for instance, if we talk about Islam, we say that again, it's based upon facts, and facts are that which cannot be denied by anyone. So anyone who is having this sincerity within oneself that one wants to find the truth, then it basically comes to you, and like the doors are always open. It does not matter what your background is, who or where are you from, how and what circumstances were you raised in, as long as you're having a sincere and if you're being sincere or honest, ultimately you're being sincere and honest to your own for your own good. Like I mean, if we talk about, let's say, for God, I mean, God in the sense like Islam teaches us. So God is not something that is in need of us to do good or to do bad. If we sin or if we do good, we do it ultimately for our own good and bad. So if we do bad, if we do sin, it's gonna ultimately bring regrets. And the best form of regret that can come to us as humans is repentance.
So I'll come behind you and
Let
give
me
you
give you a little bit on that, Alexis, what you
wait.
just asked. So
I'm
you
gonna
said that a lot of
wait.
people that
I'm going to give the definition of an agnostic: a person who believes that
that's what I was
nothing.
going to tell you. Hold on one
Okay.
second. So when you said that people don't believe in God, how would you explain it to them? I would first ask them, are you atheist or agnostic? Because a lot of people that say I don't believe in God, they say I'm an atheist, but they really cannot really tell you that they're atheist because they're agnostic. People confuse that. A
No,
person who doesn't know,
I think agnostics are those who say that whether or not God exists cannot be proven.
we believe in a higher power. Those are agnostic people.
Okay.
Well, the definition itself is a person who believes that nothing is known or can be known of the existence or nature of God or
Yeah,
anything
there you
beyond.
go. Yeah.
So that's an atheist, correct?
That's an
No,
agnostic.
that's an
Okay.
agnostic. Yeah.
So for an agnostic, you would have to ask them to go find yourself first, go figure out if you exist, and then go find out if God exists, because they don't even believe they exist. Anything is a possibility.
No,
So
it's more about so it goes like I mean, for instance, if you talk as Muslim individuals, then we'd say that uh, uh, that go and be with those people whom, according to your conscience, because every human is given a conscience, clarifies that yes, these group of people are truthful, these group of people are following certain moral, and they are true to themselves and to everyone around them, and then be with them. So, like for instance, if we look at facts, we're gonna say that um, I don't know right now.
it's
I'm sorry.
okay.
I'm kind
You
It's
have to
okay.
believe something and
I
not
mean,
believe
so
it. You have
no,
to believe something
it's like
exists to not believe.
it's more like
Yeah.
it's more like that good and bad people have been there since the beginning of the humans. So you just have to have the inner compass within yourself of conscience to guide you towards the good people, and then you find the truth.
So
Kind of makes sense. I'm sorry
yeah,
if it doesn't.
absolutely. Yeah, no, that makes sense. But my question would be then, because you guys are saying, and most religions say all are welcome, right? And you or Hussein are saying, basically anyone is welcome in the religion. So I don't know many Muslims that are of the LGBTQ community. Why do you think that is?
Because I mean, I might not be able to explain it in the best sense, but Islamically, obviously, LGBT or whatever it's called is wrong, and it's a major sin and all that. But just only because one happens to have done that again, and when a non-Muslim is always welcome to come into Islam, so why not a person who happens to have been in this LGBT thing is not welcome? He's also welcome. She's also welcome. They're also welcome, whatever they're called. But
Mhm.
I mean, so the concept of sin is that if you have sinned, it's like la taqnatu min rahmatillah, that do not be hopeless of the divine mercy, because the doors of repentance are always open as long as you're willing to come back. So when there's a will, there's a way. So ways are for the willed.
But what if I say I don't want to repent because I'm not doing anything wrong? Me being gay or trans or non-binary isn't a sin in my eyes. What do I need to repent for? Are they still welcome?
So it's gonna be like there's no
That's between
compulsion
you
in
and
religion.
God. Then at that point, I can't
Right.
judge you. I
It's
can't
like,
say anything
yeah,
to
no,
you.
it's gonna be like
when
there's
when
no
they start going in down that
Wait,
path of like following.
Hussein didn't get to finish. Go ahead.
Oh, you cut
so,
off. My bad.
oh, no, it's good, it's good. So it's like that there is no compulsion in religion. So it's your choice whether or not you want to believe. If you want to believe, or if you, I mean, you cannot like, if you do not want to remain a Muslim, or if you do not want to be a Muslim, no one can force you to be a Muslim. But then again, if you're a Muslim, you're always encouraged to be. Yeah. So it's like that. So if an individual is like that, no, to me, I do not think it's a sin and all that, then it's the individual's choice. No one can force an individual.
And it's more of a societal thing. The groups are pushing them to say that because you're sinning against God or something like that, it's against the religion of Christianity or Jews or whatever religion it is. It's against them,
Yes,
right?
like
So when they tell them that, so when they say
sorry.
that, they think that just because we sinned, we can't be a part of this religion. What they're not understanding is, yes, anyone can commit a sin. It's okay. So what? Nobody is perfect. Nobody was made. Human being was not made to be perfect. You commit a sin, you go ask for forgiveness. If you feel like there's no sin that you have committed, okay, that's between you and God. But that doesn't mean you neglect the fact of a God existing.
So someone in the comments just said, come as you are, right? So we recently watched a video on the Beyonce church and all these other derivatives and
I actually want to hear
acceptances.
what Big Terry has to say.
Well, he's not on here. He's not on here. So all of these religions, I'm reading in the comments, it said, what's against which religion? Yeah, Three Basket Living, if you would like to join the panel, absolutely come join. It should be pinned in the YouTube thread, or just click the link that says StreamYard. Come on up. We'd love to have you.
Can I say something?
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you get in, I want to say this right. When you get into homosexuality and those areas, those real gray areas.
Mm-hmm.
When he made the comment of why the church flip-flopped on its decision to not support homosexuality and then start supporting it,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of that comes from the financial backlash that happens, and I'm sure we're all aware of what happens when you offend one of them, even though when they're offended, they bring the pain, they bring it, and
in Islam it says, if you have the truth, it doesn't matter who stands against you. You can stand against your own father if you have the truth. Do not back down from the truth.
No, I'm not fearful. What I'm stating is that they bring about a bunch of things that you aren't aware of. Like the person that is your overseer could be gay. You don't know. It's not like they're wearing t-shirts or something. So I mean, you never know. I'm not saying it's right what they're doing. I'm just saying that a lot of these churches are allowing them to come in, because yes, people are leaving by the droves because it's not even church anymore.
Yeah.
It's just more of a show. So a
Yeah.
lot of people are leaving in droves because, I mean, it's desecrated. Like there's just nothing. You got pastors getting robbed on live TV and then going back, and there's things that are actually happening that is making people leave. But when you add that element of, well, homosexuality is a sin, you're going to hell, and blah 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 blah, they have a point when they say, but you're sinning up. Your list of sins is a lot longer than mine. I'm sleeping with, the same sex, but you're also sinning as well. That backlash is serious. When they take that dollar away, or when they come through and they want to destroy and tear something down, they bring it. I mean, I wish we all could jump on something and support it the way that they do, because you can't lie. They will get you shut down within days. They have no problem standing out there chanting and doing whatever they need to do to push their agenda. Now, mind you, it's a selfish agenda, because I don't think they actually, I mean, for us looking at it, their situation is more sexual. It's not necessarily more of a I want to change as a person. I want to be a better person because of this. It's really just based on who you're sleeping with. That has nothing to do with me. I mean, it really doesn't.
It doesn't have anything to do with you. It's your own personal relationship.
Yeah.
So if they choose to do that, that's their choice. But if they want to come to know God, then it's up for God to move through them and in them to change their mind and their spirit. You're not supposed to force nothing on nobody, because God ain't gonna force nothing on you. But it says, since they thought it foolish to acknowledge God, if you don't acknowledge God, or you don't even know who God is, how can he even begin to move in you and or through you? You can't get punished for something you don't have any knowledge of. Okay? But it says he abandoned them to their foolish thinking and let them do things that they should not be doing. So that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna do things you shouldn't be doing if you don't know. So you can't. So how you gonna not love them or not accept them or let them come as they are? Because then
I'm not saying that. That's not what
I'm not saying you are.
That's not what I was saying.
No, I know you're not. I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying we can't hold that against them. But us that know better have to practice that and stand on that.
Right.
But we can't judge nobody, because what I've done in my life is what I've done. And if I have to answer to it, then I will. But I don't think I have to answer to nothing, because ain't nobody perfect. And I can ask for forgiveness. And it ain't for you to forgive me. It's for God to decide if I'm going to be forgiven or not. Now I can go to a person and ask them for forgiveness. Or tell them, like, say, if I had ever gotten in a homosexual relationship, I could go and, man, that shit wasn't cool. We should, that ain't gonna happen, because I came up in the word my whole life. Right. But like I said, religion is a device to divide people.
It is.
That's why you have in the same Christianity church, you have the Catholics. It's all a divisive tool, and it says it already that all of these things is going to come against you that you're a war against each other. So that we can have, but it's these conversations right here that bring us apart and allow us to accept each other. And then let's get to the real meat and the situations that we're facing. We have a demonic spirit that's trying to wipe us off this planet.
Man, yes.
So that's all I have to say right now. I'm gonna continue to listen and educate myself, because everybody's points. This is the conversations we have to have to make change. And as we start to change, we can hopefully influence someone else.
Absolutely. And as to what Belinda was saying, she touched on something that I have been thinking about as well. When we are discussing this particular topic, it's very much giving cancel culture, or we're unable to talk about it. And I want to ask you all, why do you think it is to the point now where we can't even discuss the topic without people being shaky or not knowing how to word things properly, in fear of, not fearful, but just in fear of being canceled or just, triggering. Why do you think we can't discuss these things? Why have we come to this point, do you think? Saj, why do you think?
Number one, I think is this: a layman shouldn't speak about topics like this. If you don't have the knowledge to back up, to convince, or be able to tell the truth to the person, you shouldn't be discussing this. You shouldn't be denying them just because it says in the scripture. You have to tell them why it's bad. You have to tell them what happens with that. What you can do. You can make your own decision. I'm just going to tell you this is the consequences to it. But more so of it is people saying, oh no, because you're this part of this gender or whatever you associate with, we don't accept you. We don't do this with you. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. No, tell me why I shouldn't do it. That's the conversation that should be had.
That's
Not
okay. That's
that you
all.
shouldn't do it at all.
That's all good and fine, but if you come at somebody with religion, that doesn't always work with everybody. Everybody doesn't believe in what you believe in, and while you are very proud of your religion, and I respect that, not everybody will. So how do you tell someone they're wrong without bringing your religion into the
I
picture?
I
don't
don't
think
need
so
to.
that
I can tell them that it's up to them to accept it. I got nothing to do with you. You got your own
no,
life to live.
like
Do what you have to do.
yeah, so exactly like what Sajjad said, that it's وَمَا عَلَيْنَا لِلْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينُ, and upon us not but clear deliverance. We just have to deliver. We can never tell you, we're not supposed to go to an individual and say, hey, that you are wrong. I mean, that's a very wrong approach on its own. Actually. So we just like are supposed to deliver, convey what we know on our part, and then whether or not the individual that we have conveyed to accepts happens to be the capacity of the individual to whom that it has been conveyed. Because yeah, it's like that. I mean, we can obviously. I think that if we go to a person or go up whatever and then say that, hey, you are wrong, I guess that approach in itself is wrong. So
I 100% agree with that.
I
When you tell
agree.
people they can't do something, it actually
it's
puts
more
them
about
in a back
conveying what you
corner.
know, and like
I don't. I say this. I say this. A person should not be denied his rights. If you have your rights, the other person should have its rights, regardless of
exactly,
what
yeah.
race he is, what gender he is, whatever the case might be.
All
But
right,
when
so
you come to tell me that I should change my morals, my point of view of how I should raise my kids and how I should go about my business, and the religion that I follow should be changed because you want to change it, that's when I stand against it. I don't have a problem what you are.
unfortunately, that doesn't work, right? Because if you're saying that you want your rights and someone else is saying want their rights, and that clashes, that doesn't go. But we'll come back to that in just a second because we have a new panelist by the name of I Am. Did you want to introduce yourself, or did you want to hop in where you see fit? Did you want to say hello, I Am?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, is my voice too loud or anything?
No, you're perfect. Welcome.
Okay, well, thanks. I don't know what I missed. I'm a little behind on times when it comes to this technology. I had no idea I had to get in here.
No,
So,
welcome. Tell us
yeah.
about yourself as much as you'd like to share, that is, so we have an idea of, who we're talking to, how we should address you, maybe your age if you're comfortable.
Well, I'm as old as the sun, right? And but anyway, let me just start off because of the conversations that I had heard, and I don't know how late I dropped in on this meeting that just popped up on my screen tonight, but I found it an interesting title, so here I be. But let me start off with saying this: I'm not white. I'm not black. I'm not Hispanic. I'm not Asian. I'm not American. I'm not a citizen. I'm not Baptist. I'm not Islam. I'm not Buddhist. I'm not Pentecostal. I'm not any name or label. A name, a name in Latin, nomen, if you think about it, nomen is a name or a number. Everyone is associated with a name. To claim ownership of a name, a label, or a number, and a number is associated with symbology that is recording of accounts. An account is an event. So this needs to be established. I left a comment earlier in the room, just kind of heartbroken because of all the deception and the misleading that we all, I mean all of us have suffered throughout our time here in this manifested world. You cannot be anything but who you are. It doesn't matter what religion. When you think about R-E, and I'm not thinking about in a court of law, R-E-A, which is a thing or a matter, but re means back or again. And legion Think about a legion. You were a part of a legion, and then you became re-legion. That means again into another legion. So when it comes to Christianity, I'm not Christian either, okay? Because the messenger, the Messiah, whatever label or name you want to attribute to the messenger, the deliverer of the message. Remember that old saying, don't kill the messenger, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
but of course,
Let's not use the word kill. Let's use unalive, please.
what's
Just
that?
just on YouTube will ban people for using certain words. So the word you just used, we change it. Just say unalive.
We'll just say annihilated, destroyed,
Okay.
brought down. Okay, I didn't know YouTube was doing that now.
Yeah, they're a little picky, but go on. Go ahead.
Okay, but anyway, in that message, that is the most powerful books or scripts or bundle of letters, and it's not all of them in the canonized what we call the Bible or the Quran. When all these men and women before us and us present today, we are all getting intermixed and getting all our panties in a wad, if you will, amongst each other and against each other because of all this dogma that has been portrayed in what people are referring to as the church. If you read the script, okay, and even the Quran will back this up. If you read the script, you will find out that no matter what culture, no matter what background, no matter how far back in history or how recent in history, everyone is talking about the same vibrational source creator God, the God of all gods. Okay, now you can call him Yah, you can call him Allah, you can call it Yah, Yahuwah, Yahweh, Yeshua, you can call it Jesus or Jesus, whatever you want to attribute. It's just a name and a label. There is no name to God, the God of all gods. I don't care what the Israelites say. I don't care what Judaism says. I don't care what Islam says. These are all isms. And I'm just sharing in peace. All of you are beautiful people. You have no idea. You may spit it out on your mouth, but you have no idea how beautiful every single one of you are.
Thank
But
you.
here's the thing, okay, in what people claim to be Christianity. You will find nowhere in that script of any testimony that has been scripted or inscribed where the man, the one within the man, because we're all of the one embodied in these flesh bodies we call man. You can go to Code of Federal Regulations, you can go to the Universal Commercial Code in all the world, and it will declare what a man is. They declare what a man is an animal, okay? Every one of them. All the laws, man-made laws, declare a man is an animal. Man was created in the image of God. You cannot be man and be a son of God. It is impossible. That man is an image of that which is in you, the source energy, the vibrational conscious energy that you are. This is vital and important. This is what enslaves every man and woman on this earth. I don't care what color your skin color is. I don't care how proud and arrogant you want to claim some culture. You're not a culture. You're not a color. You're not a name. You're not a label. You're not a number. You just are that you are. And that was what was professed by the one that came and gave us this truth that we call the Messiah, the messenger, the master, the teacher. He never proclaimed that he was God. In these religions, these satanic religions that they claim that they are professing in these churches, there's no such thing as going to a church. You are the church. You are the temple. Okay,
Preach.
God, right?
Yep.
God, okay,
Yes.
Yah, Allah,
Yes.
God of all gods, source energy, okay, dwells within the temple. We are the temple. Your language is what destroys you from on a daily basis. It says, "My people perish for lack of knowledge." Daily, every single day. But I
What do
also
you?
want, huh?
Not to interrupt. What do you read that from? My people perish. Where are
You'll
you
find
reading?
you'll find that in the script.
The
You'll find
Bible.
that in the script. I call it the script because it is the script. we have this beautiful thing we call in this manifested form of life. Everybody's trying to get elevated. What the hell is everybody trying to get elevated for? If you were back into your original capacity, being on the right hand and being a son of God, okay, because you got to remember what a son of God is, all right? Because the son of man is not the man. The son of man is the light within the man. Son, S-U-N, S-O-N. The scripted word, okay, that they call the Bible is not the written word of God. It is, oh, well, I'm sorry. Let me take that back. I apologize for that. They say it's the living word of God. That's a bullshit lie. Okay. It is not a living word of God until it is spoken. It is what's spoken that matters. That's the power of the tongue. Okay. That's what will lift you up and others, or it will destroy you. The scripted word is dead. God is not the God of the dead. He is the God of the living. You are the living. That's where the source energy comes from. It takes the breath of life to speak and utter a vibrational sound formed in what we call words. Okay. And it cuts both ways. You take words, W-O-R-D-S, take that S on the end and place it in the front. Okay, where the least shall become the greatest, and the greatest shall become the last. You got sword. It cuts both ways. It will bring life, or it will bring death.
I definitely believe in the power of the tongue. I've always
absolutely.
You don't say, you don't say things that are going to ultimately. I was always taught, don't say this is I'm sick of this, or just things that you don't realize have such a power. You will say things that we say day to day, and I believe that it does have an effect on us. That's absolutely, I believe in that. I agree with you on that one.
Yes, but every one of you have a power that you have yet to tap onto. You have a gift that has been bestowed upon you. Now, the problem is we're fighting all this traditional dogma, okay? In a sense, if you haven't come to this acknowledgement, because there's only one law, according to the script, okay, canonized script, there's only one law, according to the one who spoke in this man that we call by many names, Yahweh, Yahuwah, Yeshua, and all these labels. He never claimed anything. There was one time he sent a man ahead of himself, and he sent him away. And the man came back and said, "Who do I say sent me?" This is the only time you will ever see in that written script where he declared a label or a name. And he said, "Tell them I am that I am sent you." That's it. He never claimed the name of Jesus. He never even claimed, as it's depicted or translated in the English language in the Old Testament, when he was telling Joseph what to name him, he said, Emmanuel. You must understand that name. Emmanuel in the Babylon.
Let me ask you this. What religion or what do you associate yourself to? Are you religious in any factor? Do you associate to any organized religion, or?
I am that I am. I just am. Now, people
So
that
you're
think
saying
they
your
know
own.
me, they call me by many names. I've been called Tom, Tommy, Thomas, Tom Ass.
Yes,
I've
yes.
been
We can go
called
to the philosophical point of it, of what a human being is and stuff like that, and why they are. But what I'm asking you is, are you saying that the human being is supposed to govern itself?
What is a human being?
Our body, our biological structure,
No.
everything within us, our
Right.
soul, our mind.
Well, let me see if I can help with that, okay? And I'll just put it out there, and then you can chew the fat and meditate it on it yourself. Okay, a being. When you take that word, this is why we are distorted in so many ways in the way that we were brought up, because our fathers didn't teach us, and I hold no aught against my parents, because they didn't know, and my grandparents didn't know, and on and on. So it's called generational curses, and it got passed on to us. But a being, think about be. When you're just be, right? You ever heard that? Just be in what? Just be in. You're a being. Now the hue part of it, you think about. Here's a good analogy I like to share with people. Every morning, what we call the morning, when we go into morning, from the east, we have the sun. Now, You can cast your spelling how you want to, S-O-N or S-U-N, but the sun rises in the east what we call every day or every morning. So before you see the sun, and this is the same when it sets, okay? Before you see the sun, it becomes light out, right? But you can't see the sun above the horizon. It hasn't risen above the horizon. What you're seeing is the hue of the sun. You're seeing the effects of the sun without seeing the sun. So the hue of the sun is what you see at first. And then the sun rises, and then you can fasten your eyes on the sun. So the being, which is of you, that internal spirit, conscious source energy, okay, the hue of that is what's displayed or manifested externally. So the hue of a man is not the man. The man is the man, but the hue of the man is the light, if you will, of that land, of that man. Does that make sense?
It went over me a little bit, but I would say that falls into the same category of the Christianity when they say that the Holy Spirit is separate from the being that you're saying, Jesus. So they say that the Holy Spirit is separate. The spiritual Jesus is separate from the human body. So when you break down their ideology, that goes back to the same factor of what you're saying. A person is not what he is not his name. It's none of these titles that are given by man, but still to specify to a layman, we still have to tell him that you're a human being. Your name is John. So when you go into these little, you would like to break it down to, these words, what they mean and stuff like that. Yes, English is a driven language from a lot of Latin and Greek. When you go back there and you look at these things, yes, you can come up with different meanings of it. We don't,
I will tell you, sir, I will kindly tell you what we refer to as the English language is in fact the Babylonian language. It is the language of confusion. You do not get taught proper English and what these words are.
I agree with you.
Mean. You have to go into word etymology to get the meaning of it, because the government's not going to teach you these things.
I agree with you. But what you're saying is this. So you're saying that I am myself. Like you're saying you are. So do you believe in a God or do you not?
Oh, absolutely. How can one deny? Even
so who would be your God? Who do you believe in?
The source energy.
Does the source have a name?
No, there is no name. There is actually a symbol, okay, that has no utterance. And that can be backed up even in scripture. You can't even.
So the difference between me and you would be, I believe in the same thing. There's a source. He's not a man. He's not a woman. He's an entity. But I will like it to give it a name, which is Allah.
Saj, sorry, not to be rude, Saj, and sir, I have a couple topics I'm getting the messages in that we have to cover before the time is up. We will be having a whole discussion and debate on religion next Wednesday. Please, sir, come back. I would love to continue to talk to you and hear what you have to say to share with our audience. If you'd come back next Wednesday and chat with us, I would love to have you. I will post the video. Please come back. I'm going to, for the sake of time, though, continue on the topics of the list that I have here. So I will carry on to the next topic.
Sure.
Yes, thank you so much. Again, please stay with us if you'd like, if you want to continue talking on the other matters, but otherwise definitely come back on Wednesday, because it sounds like you have a lot of insight to share on religion, and I'm sure Saj could go on for days with you, as he does with myself. So what we were carrying on into with what Belinda had said, and we were kind of getting into the LGBTQ community, and this is something that is rather a hot topic right now that we find ourselves not being able to discuss. And I know with one of the other panelists here, who had shared some information with me midweek and wanted to bring up, actually, he's not on the panel. He was in the comments earlier, but I don't think he's here anymore. But the topic of voting when it comes to LGBTQ, it's, in my opinion, I'll be honest with you, I don't believe that we are in the same space we were 10 years ago with the LGBTQ community. I believe we're in a little bit more of an extreme position now than we were, say, 10 years ago. And Well, while I do believe that a lot of the groups have made a lot of headway and um, gained a lot of rights, which they should, right? We already established that coming to someone individually and telling them that they're wrong would not be the right way to go about things. But I want to ask you guys this question. How do you guys think, as a society or in a society, do you guys feel that one person's, excuse me, actions, do they affect you or do they not affect you? What, you know, when people say, oh, I don't care what Karen does, what she does doesn't matter to me, it doesn't affect me. What she does in her house is not of a matter to me. Do you agree with that, Belinda?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. What you do affects others. We want to say that because it sounds good, but what you do affects others. If I burn down my apartment, right, my townhome, I got people that live on both sides of me. You don't think they're not going to be affected?
I agree with that.
So
I
if
agree
I streamline an extreme view that I possess, and I'm forcing that view out there, for those that don't agree with you, it's gonna definitely affect them. It definitely will. It affects people. We just like to say that because, you know,
it feels nice
it
to
sounds
say.
good.
Yeah, it does sound good. And I think that ultimately us saying that and feeling that way and not really paying attention to societal issues has kind of gotten us to where we are now.
Right.
And while, you know, not everybody will agree, because even within my own home, we have disagreements on politics and certain laws and things like that. Yeah, I think that these things should be discussed regardless. And the
Well,
more
it's
that
a very, well, when you think about it, I mean, as much as it's made to seem like everybody is for it, that the small changes and the big change for a small group of people has affected the marriage rates, divorce rates. It's affected birth, adoptions. It's affected a lot. To just say what they do doesn't affect me. What you do behind closed doors in your bed doesn't affect me. But when you start pushing that view out there, yeah, it's a ripple effect. Most definitely. It's a ripple effect. It's going to affect others. You know,
I
it
agree.
just is, you know.
Truth, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like your actions affect me ultimately or the society, or what you do only affects you?
No, it affects everyone. It
What
affects.
about?
It affects. Yeah, my actions do affect everyone. That's why that's what controls our consciousness and our thoughts. Because if you have any love or any type of heart inside of you, which most people do, I don't care if they're atheists or whatever, they're not. There's someone in their life that they love.
Absolutely.
So love causes you to make decisions based on that. So a decision that you would normally not make because of selfishness, let's just put it that way, you are now willing to make out of love, which conquers all of it. It's above it, all of it. So yes, anything that I do, it has an effect somehow on someone else, because if if it didn't, then I would make a decision not caring about anything, even myself. So then my existence wouldn't matter. I might as well be dead.
So do you think we need society? Do you think that we need to have some sort of standard at which we should all follow in a sense, or at least hold ourselves to?
Yeah, but we're like, that's where we're at right now. We're running that standard right now as a society. And the sad part about it is the percentage of the people that we're allowing to promote this narrative is not even 5% of the population.
That's what I was saying. A small group makes a large group.
Why do you think it is a very small percentage or group has so much power over?
Because it's who has the money. It's who has the money. You'd be shocked who support certain things because of the amount of money they have. Like this is your Facebook, all these apps that we're all on and we're looking and stuff. I mean, no one finds it odd. You don't find anything hardly positive about Black people, but then when you get on that app, you immediately see a bunch of gay men. They're funny and all that, but how does this
I mean,
describe us? How
there,
does this describe us? Because I mean, I see that more than I see anything else, anything with thought or anything outside. And I'm not talking about a gay man with like we're sitting here talking and we're trying to get through this. I'm talking about just the flame. I mean,
Tyler Perry, though. See, this is where the church is getting it all twisted. Tyler
yeah,
Perry.
it just seems. But that why does that have to be what gets our attention? We should be able to just sit here and talk. That should not be just pushed. Everything should be pushed. What we're doing right now with all these different cultures, and we're trying to like figure this out. This all should be pushed. That's not what's pushed. That literally is
free. So they have to promote lies. They are I tell people that they daddy is the father of lies, because that's what's going on right now. They're promoting lies. Like I said, Tyler Perry comes on, goes to all these churches. You a man of God. God gave you all of this stuff, but you have 4 homosexuality shows under your network right now. Where's God in that?
So
I'm just saying this, like these people are. Didn't Jesus go into the temple and flip the tables over?
Table over, yes. Yeah,
Do you
yes,
understand? That's what it is right now. It's greed. It's greed. And these people have,
it's money. This is money.
Know what money is no more. They have so much more money, right? They don't even money don't even mean nothing to them. Do you see them giving once $100 billion to the Ukraine?
Yeah.
Do you know how many countries we can build with $100 billion?
We didn't even have homelessness in America. We just gave to ourselves.
The world.
The world, yeah.
50 billion. I bet you I changed 100 million lives in like seconds. It's about to go down. See, that's
easy to say on our side, though. You know, the people.
The lies. Give me $1 billion. You know how much? You know how much $1 billion is?
I do think it's easier said than done. You know, if you get $1 billion tomorrow, you know,
$1 billion. Okay, you can change 1 million lives with $1 billion.
I agree. I think I can too.
So are you saying that in a sense, why are we dipping our hands in other places when we have so many
There
problems?
is no money in the cure. There's no money in the cure.
Right. But
they want to keep you sick.
Yes.
So sick with the lies, your brain.
Yes. Yeah.
With the sickness.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like? They showing us now. Like God is.
They don't even hide it. They don't even hide
it. On the dark. You seeing all these pedophiles come out now? Like, you think this just started? If you look back through time, these Romans and Greeks was already the homosexuality was banging back then.
So
long before then.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me ask you then this: do you think that this is now coming to the forefront because there are extremists that are using the LGBTQ movement as a way to slide in under the table and push their movement as well? Do you think that
Yes, it's called women's rights. A lot of this women's right where we're not even uplifting our men. We're not even trying to be a unity. I don't want to be independent. It's a lot of backdoor issues sliding in under. Yes.
So like I said, moving the father.
I am not with no women's rights. No, I need a man. Kill a spider, get a job, something. I need all that. All that.
To be clear, I'm not a feminist. I'm not a feminist with you, Belinda. I'm with that. I don't. The narrative of a strong Black woman, I just can't get with that personally.
No, that's garbage.
I don't want that. I do believe that a man should lead my household, but that's just me based on my beliefs, and I can't push anyone else. But with that being said, do you feel that another topic that I had, looked at, the happening or chance of a woman being erased, the erasure of womanhood, do you feel like that is a possibility with all of the occurrences and changes that are happening now within the
No,
trans community?
No,
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 no, no,
no.
no, no.
But I do feel like we're being, what irritates me to my soul is we are not costumes. Stop putting us on like if you just add some earrings and a lace front and some nails, you got a whole woman. No, this right here. This is it's the inside of me, my compassion, the difference in man and woman that makes up the difference in us. Just innately, we're more softer, we're more nurturing, we're more loving, we're more. The man is more the outdoor. He gonna hunt. He gonna do what he got to do, but we're not costumes. It's very offensive that every time you turn around, it's just like, oh, I'll just throw on a lace front and some nails and boom. No, it's not. No, it's a lot more to going into being a woman. And I'm doing this right now by myself with my daughter. So it really offends me that I have to really be out here standing up to men and trying to fulfill both roles because their father is deceased. That I'm trying to juggle this, but no, it's designed like it's designed for you to have a mother and a father for a reason, and both those perspectives in the home is what brings about healthy children that can think and have both the best of both worlds. But it just
I don't mind
we're not costumes. We're
I don't
just
mind
not.
a woman joining the military, but men
Oh
are
yeah.
who went out and fought these wars. You
Yeah.
understand? Like that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Men can. There might have been some women coming over here fighting, but men were fighting these wars. And like I said, remove
I'm
the
not.
father.
Yeah.
When you remove the father, it's not just removing the father like that had kids. The father
The father, yeah, no,
of
the
the earth,
actual father, the man
father of
that's
the
in the home,
universe. It's
working,
like it all
providing.
trickles down. You gotta.
Yeah.
And so the you need the father and the mother to create life.
Yes.
That's
the
life.
duality. That's the
And to
duality.
sustain it, not just create it, but
Okay.
sustain it. Have it.
Wait, all of that. That's what seeds are. You're supposed to be fruitful. So
Yes,
what
and
they
multiply.
want to do is they want to ruin the good fruit. They want to sour. They want to ruin the fruit.
So the family dynamic is the key, essentially, is what I'm hearing to
But we need
better
the woman.
society.
But they trying to. Okay,
Yeah.
so they want to
Did you
put
see
boys.
that?
They want to put boys in girl sports. I don't want my daughter playing
No, yeah, no.
softball anymore. It's not softball anymore. If you putting dudes playing now, dudes can compete against the girls.
Right.
It's not the same
The
thing.
Olympics was a disaster. The Olympics was a disaster.
You're
Of
talking
course,
about
a man beat all them women. It's a
Are we
whole
allowed?
man.
But who's allowing this to happen? Who's going along with the narrative? Who's making the rules and the laws? It's not us.
The friendly
so
congressman.
so how do we make it fair across the board for everyone, right? We're all humans, whether whichever way we decide to go with our gender or sexuality, whatever, however you view it. How do we make it fair going forward to where everyone's rights are respected, essentially? So if you look at it, let's say, like, Truth says he doesn't want his daughter playing sports with trans girls. So, but the trans girl's parents want her to be able to play with the girls because she feels like they feel that that's her right.
But it's
So,
not a girl. It's built with, it still has male testosterone, which means that what girl, boy, whatever, that innately is going to be stronger regardless, even without trying. It's gonna
so how do we
that
choose both
child
sides?
is going without trying. Men are stronger than us. I mean,
But they say, what
that
about
shouldn't even be
hormones?
up for a debate? Why would we even have to debate something like that? I mean, if that's the case, it'd be a whole bunch of women owning construction companies. They're stronger than us. So
So
why
now,
would we?
Can I share something with you?
yeah, absolutely.
I remember, let's see, I guess I was in Iraq, and I had this colonel. He was our element commander, And I remember him getting us all in formation, and all enlisted officers, commissioned, non-commissioned. And he made us a promise. And it took me about 15 seconds to get what it meant and what he was saying. And I'll never forget it for the rest of my life. And he said it to this fact. He promised that he would treat every single one of us in that formation, no matter what gender, no matter what culture, no matter what color your skin or hue your skin was, fairly. Everyone here I will treat fairly. But the caveat to that, he said this: I will not treat everyone equally.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you think about this, because this took me a few seconds, I'm like, what the hell does that mean? What he's saying is everyone's going to get treated fairly, but not everyone is going to get treated equally. And if you understand the military rank structure, it'll come easy. But I'll give the analogy of being a parent, to your child, sons and daughters. If I have a 6-year-old son and I have a 15-year-old son, they're both going to get treated fairly. But I'm not going to treat my 6-year-old son the same way I'm going to treat my 15-year-old son equally. They're not going to be treated equally. I have more expectations out of my 15-year-old son than I do my 6-year-old son. So that's the same precept I will offer when it comes to man and woman. We are all born, they say, equal. I would kind of go against that based on that colonel's speech that day. We are all to be treated fairly. We all have equal value, but we don't have all equal responsibilities, and we don't have all equal capabilities.
Right.
If you take a look around on this planet, I will offer. Well, I don't have $1 million, but I got about 40,000. I got about $45,000 worth of silver here, and I will offer it to anyone that can look around amongst 5 or 6 billion people that are walking on this planet, whether you believe it's flat or round, I care not. But if you can find one individual that did not come forth and was not brought forth and birthed into this manifested world from a woman, I will ship this $45,000 worth of silver to you.
Ooh.
Every single one of us, whether you're male or female, so the value of the woman is immense. But the woman is likened to the garden, okay? Her womb, her uterus, the egg, it's likened to the garden. Every single one of them has to have a seed. You ain't going to get no fruit out of that garden unless the seed planted. So that's why everything is acknowledged toward the Father, because I didn't know this until about, I'll say about 1.5 years ago. And I'm up there in a little bit of age. It takes about, it was like 60 or 90 days. So don't quote me on it. I'd have to go find that research again. That, the tubular tract in what used to be called the kidneys, a man's testicles used to be called kidneys in the old medical books. I didn't know that, which that's where the word kid comes from, right?
Right.
It takes somewhere like 60 to 90 days for a single sperm to develop and follow that track, which is, I forget how many hundreds of feet long. Okay. And they excrete out of the walls of that tubular tract within our testicles. And it takes like 60 to 90 days for that to develop and go through its course through the testicle before it can be planted into the garden. Pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you're saying that, I'm going to go ahead and spin off of that. I am, and get into the fact that we have come to a point now where women who are transitioning into men, and they will say that they are men, and I respect that. I will address you how you choose to. They
How
are
can you
giving
respect?
birth.
Can I ask you and stop you there?
Yeah,
How is it that you can respect? Because I coined the term respect, or I liken it to the word honor. How can you honor a lie?
Okay, preach.
So that's
Well,
fair.
Okay.
Well,
Now we
I
on
think
that.
so.
Okay. I like you.
We're
But-
talking.
Okay.
You can't honor it. That's why I said I couldn't
Hey,
call.
that
But
I can't
But-
call my
but-
dude Reverend.
Right.
How you gonna be
But
at the
but
church?
no matter what, they are
No,
doing.
no,
they
no.
are
But those two things
infiltrators
don't go
that-
together. Respect and honor is different.
Well,
So when you
that's why I
respect
say I
someone,
liken it to. You know what I
correct,
mean? I
correct,
liken
yes.
it to.
So
I do think
yes, you
respect
could
and honor is
respect
different, too.
someone without agreeing with them. So
Yeah.
I can still respect you for what you want to be, but doesn't mean that I agree with you.
Or think it's honorable.
Okay,
Right.
but then all right. If you'll allow me to interject once
Yeah,
again,
come on in.
Okay.
how, like I said, the piano player at the church, his title was Reverend. Do you know reverence? That's honor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To have
Yeah.
reverend. So you want me to call
Yeah.
you Reverend what when you practicing what? I still love you though. Like, understand, I love this man.
Yeah.
But I can't give that honor and title. I mean, but like I said, to each his own, and I can't judge nobody because of who I am.
Yeah, you
But
can.
we
were born
are
to judge.
disrespecting ourselves and people's intelligence to project this on them,
Oh,
and then indoctrinating our children to think that this may be right.
okay. Yeah.
So
Very
let's
true.
get into that. Let's get into that. And this is where I believe a lot of people have come onto this topic, or it has even gained anyone's attention. It's because of the children, right? So
That's my main topic.
where 10 years ago, we would not have been discussing this. And that's okay, because everyone has their rights to do as they please and should have the rights to be safe going in their everyday life. Where I draw the line is always children, because they can't protect themselves. Let's be honest. Was that me making that noise?
Sound like somebody eating some
Right.
Doritos or something.
I like shuffling cards or something.
So I draw the line at children. And when I say that, I mean this. There are laws being passed that would affect or give someone the ability to take your child to another state to give them reassignment surgery that is irreversible. And I believe that that is something that should be held to the choice of an adult and an adult only.
Who paid for it?
Well, you can't even drink unless you're 21.
Right.
Right.
Who's paying for it? Because I don't know no 8-year-old. That is surgery is
No,
expensive.
they talking about 15.
Well-
You can bring them to California. There. I'll say, I don't want to say states. I guess we can't say states.
Yeah. Okay.
That's racism.
What?
Oh my
But
word.
there's a certain state now that we're very familiar with, that is now you can bring a child from another state to this state, and as long as is it 8 or 15? I thought it was 15.
Yeah, I think I heard 8 or 9.
But the person doesn't have to be their parent.
You're right.
That's the whole thing. Like,
But who pays for it?
You
I
do.
mean, that's expensive.
You do.
How is it 15-year-old going to pay for that?
No, taxpayers pay for it.
Oh, hell no. Okay. I'm
wait,
running
don't you
out
know
of
in
juice
prison,
anyway, y'all.
They give you hormonal treatment in prison.
Yeah, it's free in prison. Yeah. If y'all ain't mad, y'all should be mad about that.
Who's paying for that?
What I would say to that is this: if I agree with you that the kids shouldn't be going through these things, stuff like that, but when they ask for their rights, what basis are you denying their rights for? What I don't agree with them, but I would like to ask you guys, on which basis do you guys say that, okay,
Their
this is
mind
not okay,
hasn't
but this
developed
is
yet.
okay?
That's why I'm
Right.
denying it.
I will answer
Or the
that.
fact you
No,
can't
no,
afford
I'm
it. If you
talking
can't
without
pay
the
for
kids.
it.
No. I think let me reword the question. I'm
ahead.
saying without the kids, when specific group of people is asking for their rights, what is the basis of saying that we do not agree with this?
I don't disagree.
The-
Let me just say this.
Mm.
I do not disagree with an adult living their life any way they choose to.
Right.
I start to disagree when it comes to children and protecting children in any capacity that looks like.
They're not developed yet. Their mind
Right.
hasn't developed to make adult decisions yet.
Right.
He's asking about adults, though. Saj is asking specifically about adults. How do you have anything to say about what another adult chooses to do with their body? And I say I don't have an issue with any adult doing anything that they
Not
want
an
to
adult.
do. I
Not an
only
adult.
start to care when it starts to come to the point of where it is affecting children. And that's, I think, there are extremists that are using other people's case of rights as
Right.
a way to get their perverse desires on.
Right.
Do you
Yeah.
remember this used to be in the closet? You know how they used to say,
Yes.
"Oh, he came out the closet," or "She came out the
Well,
closet."
okay, so the basis of the question was that. So you said that you don't have a problem as long as an adult does it, right? So when you give that much power to a certain group of people, this is where the problem stems from. So
Who's
now,
giving
when
the
you
power?
give them those rights and you're accepting their ideology, when you're accepting of what they believe in, this is what they believe in. And now you don't want to go forth with what more stuff that they're bringing along with. You just want to take it, okay, as long as it doesn't affect me, all right, cool. But now they're bringing in this laws and doctrines to actually affect the population that don't agree with them. So
If
when we
my
say
tax
we
dollar
have
is
to
used for
What is the
something,
effect?
our
What
tax
is the
dollars
effect?
shouldn't be used for that. That should end it right there. If I don't agree with that, don't use my tax dollars for that. Don't you that certain something like that is a personal decision anyway. Like, I mean, that's like telling somebody don't, I mean, you make people pay for their own BBLs, right? So
Yeah.
why would tax dollars go to find you feeling better about who you are on the inside? Because that's the ideology about it. I feel myself now, and
Well,
it goes into all of that stuff, but why
it
should
comes
my money
into,
be used towards that?
it comes into mental health, right? That's where we get into
Right now you're getting into
it comes into the health factor because individuals who do not have access to certain
Yes.
medical abilities or
Right.
treatments have
Right.
now medical issues. So that now ties in together, and
It does.
it comes
How
into
can you pay for surgery reassignment and not take care of somebody with cancer and let them die, and they paid into the system? That's not even level playing ground right there.
So the comment here, Terry says, this is where your vote comes into play. And this is, I agree on that. But
Doesn't, because California voted against same-sex marriage, but guess what happened? It ended up being done anyway. So does your vote really?
It's not really a marriage.
but I think people fail to understand that the
Right.
stuff
I mean,
we're
yeah,
talking
I get
about,
what
we're
you-
exceptions. We don't agree with this stuff. We want to voice it and stuff like that. But I say the overwhelming majority is self-centered. They would want to say that as long as it doesn't affect me, it's okay. Do what you got to do. Live your life. Blah blah blah. This is how liberalism functions. John Locke said this. These things came into this play. This is not just overnight stuff. This has been happening for centuries.
Yeah.
This has been happening for centuries on.
I'm running out of juice. I love you guys. It's been wonderful.
Thank you for
I
joining
thank
us.
you, everybody. I enjoyed myself. I'll see you guys later.
I'll see you next time.
Mhm.
Night. So my thought on this, and this is where I feel very strongly, is we should talk about this, right? Because this doesn't only affect either side; it affects both sides. Because for those who have a genuine desire to live their life as they choose and not bother with anything else, the children, anything like that, and the extremists come in and use them as a representation of their movement, that not only hurts those who are just trying to live their life, but those who are opposing, because now this extreme narrative is the face of that movement. So if people can't talk about it, who does it really hurt?
Well, can I ask
Yes.
Specifically?
Yeah.
What is the effect of those that choose not to support or concur with those folks that are choosing this, I guess, alternative lifestyle, I guess I'll call it, for the lack of better terms?
Mhm.
What is the effect of the rest of society, of us? What is the direct, not indirect effect, but the direct? That what's the claim?
To agree with that, I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question.
Go ahead.
Yep, I'm saying if there are those groups or individuals that are pushing this agenda to alter their bodies, to do these transformations, live some sort of alternate lifestyle, that the rest of the populace isn't in agreement with. What is the direct effect or impact that's claimed to have on us?
The human population, the moral basis that we are supposed to stand on. When you start taking away from those things, it indirectly, directly affects you.
Well, let me ask you this. What claim do
Mhm.
I have, and by what authority do I have to tell you what you can do with what you create, your property, meaning your children?
But see, they're
What,
not their
So
children.
no, from me to you in your household, from
per-
man to man, what authority and what
you
right
you
of
don't have any
claim do I
authority.
have?
This is why the
Right,
law system is made.
right.
So a
So it's
person
kind of
shouldn't
like
be
telling a
able.
farmer, what he does. If the farmer, wants to take milk from the udder of one cow so that he can give it to another cow, because this is what Belinda was talking about, taking my tax dollars. Well,
Mhm.
you have to understand what a citizen is. Citizen comes from the word chattel. Chattel
Correct.
comes from the word cattle. People
Mhm.
don't realize it, but every single one of us was registered. Okay, there was two of
Correct.
you that
Correct.
one was born, one was birthed when you came into this world. One is a gift, one is able to please God, and one is not. The other is a sinner. We are all the sinners, right? Because we're the ones that sign things. Signing, sinning, same thing. People don't understand what sin is. But the thing is there's some wise words that said, when one of the men came and said, what do I have to do to enter into the kingdom of God? And he said, come, follow me. And he said, well, first let me go bury my father, and blah, blah, blah. And the reply was, as it's depicted in the English language, is that let the dead bury the dead. It is none of our business. Just let them, as long as it doesn't have a direct impact on you, you know, then we
So,
are trying to infringe upon someone else's life experience, no matter how grotesque it is. All right.
So,
I
so
have
to
no
ask
right
you
of
that, do
claim.
you believe in freedom of speech and absolute freedom?
Um, I am bound by the laws of creation. So I don't know how free I can really be, because if I am of something, then that something that I am of is my God, is my Lord, is my creator. So I don't
Correct.
know how
But no.
free
But
I
I'm
can really
asking in a
claim
in
to
a
be.
in a technical side of it, of as in the laws. So America has freedom of speech. You have freedom of rights. You have freedom of certain things.
Right,
Correct. So when you say
right.
freedom, it should mean absolute freedom, right? Or it's not freedom.
Well,
So do you believe in absolute freedom, or do you believe in restricted freedom?
Uh, that's a tricky one. It depends on what angle you want to come from it. Anytime you accept a right, then you come to a confession or acknowledgement that there is someone granting those rights. So if you accept a right from the government or from some piece of paper called a constitution or some
Hmm.
bill of rights, if you accept that right, you acknowledge and confess that there is someone granting you the rights. That
Correct.
is the
Correct.
grantor. Okay, that is the creator, your God, granting you these rights. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying? And then you become the grantee in law, in
I
man's
agree
law.
with you, but I'm asking you, as you, what do you believe in? Not what the society we live in or how it goes. I'm asking, what do you believe in?
Well, again, going to the language, okay, because you know the word faith and belief. You
Correct.
hear that tossed around. So faith is one thing, right? Faith is you think that something is going to have either a positive or negative effect on
Hmm.
an outcome. That's faith. But to actually believe, people say, I believe this, I believe this. To believe is to be live, to be living it. So you're not. It's faith without works. The works is actually takes action to say, do, act, say, and put. Okay, by law, if you understand these words, to believe in something that means you are living it.
Correct. Correct.
Your being is actually living it. That's what it really means to believe. People spit out with their mouth and off their tongue that I believe this, I believe this.
I
In order
agree with
to
you.
believe,
That's a
you have
loose
to be
term that
living it.
people use. But
Yes.
still, my question still stands for you. Do you believe in absolute freedom, or do you believe in some sort of freedom that some restrictions should be there and not be there? in a law term.
What it is, it's called cooperation. We have to cooperate and free. I'm not free from gravity. I'm not free from overexposure in the sun. I'm not
Those
free
are
from
absolutes. Those are
right.
absolutes, though.
Exactly. I'm not free on this earth to do what I want without taking in consideration of those that here are
Perfect.
stewards on this
Well,
land with me.
well, yes, I agree with you. So this is what I would tell you. I would rather be governed or live by the laws of the creator who created me instead of the ones that man created. So if you go into the Midwest and out to that side, right? You have heard of the Sharia law. I know you said that you went to Iraq, so you heard the Sharia law. Have you ever looked into what the Sharia laws are?
I have not, but there
Okay,
are some
so
things that I have been exposed to that I find highly effective and
okay.
and I find very agreeable. You know, it's like the covering of women. I find that it to be, especially in today's times, to be extremely valuable for the
Mhm,
family structure,
mhm.
right? Because listen, women are effing beautiful. Women are women are extremely beautiful, extremely desirable, and
Correct.
and she actually serves the rest of the brethren of her husband, okay,
Mhm.
very well when she does not intentionally create these envies or temptations toward herself, because they're beautiful. They're made to be beautiful. We're supposed to
Mhm.
desire them, because if we didn't desire them, we would have no population. You know what I
Correct.
mean?
Correct.
If it
So
wasn't
that's
for our XY chromosomes within all of us and XX chromosomes, we would have no reproducing and propagation and
yes, population and stuff like that. But what I
right.
would say, what I was saying was this: I
That's
would
what
rather be governed
we are
by
doing.
someone who has wisdom beyond me. Correct. So as in who knows the future and stuff like that. The person who created me, the creator, not the person. I take that back. So this is where the Sharia laws comes into play. I would actually invite you to go look into that stuff. You would, I possibly think that you would agree with 95% of the things that are said in that. So when a man comes into play, this is where liberalism came into play. When the Western society
Look,
started colonizing people, this
now,
is when these freedom, oh, I'll give you freedom. That's why you come to America. Why I love America. I'm not saying anything bad about it, but what I'm saying is people are mistaking it for certain things now. Now they're saying we don't want absolute freedom when they used to live off of that absolute freedom. I have the freedom to say whatever I want to say. I
But
don't believe in absolute
a
freedom.
rancher or a cow or a rancher or a farmer does not give absolute freedom to his cows, his chattel, right? You
Correct.
cannot, because he lays claim of ownership to them, because them cows
Correct.
cannot self-govern themselves without causing harm to the neighbor's
Yes.
fence, his cars, his yards, getting out in the
Yes.
highways.
Yes.
So it works the same way. Everything is governed, and it should be, and that's a good thing.
Yes.
I was explaining to a group the other night that if I had a lawnmower and it had strapped on the front of it some 250 horse motor to it, that damn thing needs to be governed, or it's going to kill me or somebody else, or cause harm and damage to somebody else's property, which I have to be liable for. So it's a good thing that you got an engine on a lawnmower that has some governance. All engines,
Yes.
all things of power should have some governance. But the
So
problem
this is what I
is,
say.
we as a society, we do not self-govern very well. Every
Correct.
single one
Correct.
of us in here are committing adultery.
Correct.
Every one of you, I guarantee you, is committing adultery in its true sense. I can even prove it to you in the Code of Federal Regulations 363.3, and you look at the definition of a minor. And I can even quote it off here on the top of my head. I know it so well. It says, one who has not yet attained the age of 18, or one who has attained the age of 18 but has not yet taken control of his minor account. Now, that is a mouthful. And in doing so, what you have done, you have taken control of your minor account, I guarantee you, at the age of 17 or 18 years of age. meaning you left being a son and having a covering for mom and dad, but it's a good thing. Remember, it's written that the Christ spoke that I think not I came to bring peace. I come to cause division against mother and daughter and father and son, brother and sister. All right, for good reason, so that we all have access to return back to the covering. Now, what we are doing, we all claim to be adults, and we think that's a good thing. I'm my own man. I'm my own God, and I can do what the hell I want to. Well, when you do that, you become liable. Now you become the trustee of that estate.
Yes.
That's why you get penalized. That's why you get fee. Remember the old saying, fee, fi, fo, fum? Go look up what those words mean. That's why you get a fee for everything. The fee is a cow. A fee is a chattel. So we all commit this adultery because and we're not self-governing as adults. We are irresponsible, and we commit crimes against one another. We envy one another. We envy what our neighbors have. Everybody's looking on television, who's got what and this and that. And you get this perception that it's going all across this land. And that's a lie. It's only got that perception because everybody's looking at these damn tablets and telephone or these phones and these computer screens and televisions. But if you shut all that down and just go out in society, you won't find that it is so saturated as it is purported on these devices. Remember, the Prince of the Air has control of the air waves. That's what the Prince of the Air is. Has complete control. So long as you're tuned into that, that is the manna that you're going to be receiving. You're going to
that's the problem with human beings, though. As long as something benefits them, they'll accept it. But as soon as it starts going against what they believe in, they'll start rejecting it. So when a man wants to make his own laws up and they want to say that we live freedom, we live for this stuff and that stuff, there's a point that comes when there's some stuff that's going to be happening that's going to backbite them, and they can't run from that because you took what was good from it. Now you don't want to take the bad of it. And people fail to understand that these people that are asking for their rights and doing this and that, it stems from the same problem of liberalism. I can do whatever I want to do. I can do as something that as long as it doesn't harm anyone, the harm principle. So when people start into going into those conditions,
you can, sir, you can do whatever you want to. But the problem is everyone wants to do what they want to do. They want to create their own laws in essence.
That's what it means, though.
In order to create your own law would be a testimony with by your own actions and your own words that you have no authority above you, meaning the God of all gods, the creator source energy of all things. So that means you're an antichrist. You're anti-truth is what you become when you want to create. But you can do it. But the problem in society today, from my perception, is that everyone wants to do, and they want the freedom to do whatever they want the hell to do, but they don't want to accept the liability. It's like in the military. I know many people in government work. I got over 23 years of service of government work. And I have come across many, many, many that want the pay, they want the rank, they want the position, but they don't want the liability and responsibility. They just want the essence of look at me. I'm above you.
All the benefits that come with it, the benefit package that comes with it.
It's
so
power.
I would take the ranking.
It's power-based and it's vanity is what it is.
Yes.
Because we are not here to self-serve. I am here to serve you. You are here to serve I. But you can't. I can't serve you unless I cannot serve you unless I become selfish and serve myself first. I need to.
And that's what has happened in the Western society.
Well, I need to put, but they take it out of context. I need to be responsible to self first so that I can be in a position of servitude. It's called king servant, to be a servant.
How do you take freedom of speech out of context? What would you premise as this is not freedom of speech?
I don't disagree with freedom of speech.
So you believe that there should be absolute freedom of speech?
Absolutely. If you take that away, you take the power of every individual. You take away. If you take that away, no matter how grotesque it is.
That's what causes a harmful society. So a person should not have absolute freedom of speech.
I don't think
when
that
you
we
give that.
Okay, but here's some wise words
in front of us that they give us to sell America to us. But my point of it is
that we have the freedom of speech is what I'm saying. I don't think that really anybody can say how they really feel or what they really think.
Yes, you'll get canceled. You'll get, blackballed or other consequences that come with
sure.
it. So when people think that they have the freedom of speech to say something, and when it backbites them, that's when they cry about, oh, I don't like this law, I don't like that law. I thought that I had freedom of speech, but they don't understand every action has a reaction. So if you give someone absolute freedom of speech, you have to tell that person what's the consequences of that.
Mm.
And
Well,
that's what
you don't even have to tell them. They will feel the repercussions themselves at some point in time. They will.
True.
But if you
there's
them,
some
you
wise
cannot
words
punish
here. Okay, there's wise words here that was said by the one that came to deliver the message to us, right? And he said, "Woe unto them who take offense." Not the one who's speaking it, okay? Especially if it's of a truth.
Hmm.
The one, for instance, if you take something which I didn't intend, my intent is not to offend you, but you take it from me and take it upon yourself, woe unto you, not me, because you're taking something that doesn't belong to you, especially if I didn't intend it. So,
But I think the first part of that is that you have to control your tongue. So you have to watch the words that you say. I don't know where it says in
good luck
the
with that
scripture
one,
for that.
The power of life and death is in the tongue.
That's
I mean,
right.
yeah,
Yes, there you
there's
go. I didn't
power
know
in
That's
which
right.
verse that was.
So
So
if
yes, I agree
gotta-
with what you said, but there's a first part to that.
Well,
Oh.
gentlemen, before we
Let there
continue,
be our existence. We were spoken to existence. Let there be light. Everything was spoken into existence.
That's
That
that
takes
dark energy,
we
vibrational
have
energy.
we
okay.
have just a few minutes left, so I'm going to go around and I'm going to let you guys give your closing statement. Take a minute to give your closing statement, and we are going to be back. We're going to be back next week. I have so much to talk about with you guys. I really appreciate you all joining us. Genuinely, you guys gave a lot to the conversation, and I really appreciate you guys. It made me very happy tonight. Let's start with you. USA is the Great Babylon. Do you have any closing statements?
Yeah, I just want to say, this has been great. I'm probably the youngest on the
Yes.
panel, and you guys seem real knowledgeable, and you guys are good at conversation. And I just want to say, I wanted to say a couple minutes ago that I think there has to be, the other side. There has to be these bad things that are disgusting and grotesque to us that we don't like. All these evil things. There has to be, because there has to be a side to pick. And
Okay.
how will we know how valuable good is if I like to look at evil like it's there to show me what not to be,
I like
and if
that.
it wasn't there, how would I know what,
Yeah. No, I
So
like that.
yeah, I like to
Hey, that was good. That was good.
That's what they say, yin and yang. So
Yeah.
when
No,
if
that was
there's
very
a good,
good.
there has to be a bad, or else there's no good.
There
yeah
has
I
to be
try
duality. Is what everything's duality.
yeah
Everything.
so I try not to get too angry at these things in the world that used to make me angry. I understand they're there for me to learn from.
Yes,
That's right.
yes.
Very
Is
wise.
that-
No, thank you. Thank you for that. Truth. You have any closing statements?
Yeah, I got for you guys. My mama used to always say, she's like, who will take you further than you want to go, keep you longer than you want to stay, and cost you more than you want to pay? Devil. The devil.
That's
Oh, I was going to say Joe Biden, but okay.
I agree with that one.
Well,
That's funny.
definitely know the devil. Him and the devil is in bed with each other right about now.
Oh, you know what? Devil's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is.
It is. He is.
It's
He
God's creation also. That's
Hey,
what I believe in.
You hear what you just said? That's what I'm gonna show y'all something later.
We're gonna come back and talk
All
about
right.
this. I promise you guys. Mr. I am. Any closing statements, sir?
Well, so because I don't want him to go to sleep tonight with this bearing on his mind, that kind of ruffled him a little bit. But I will say this: first of all, thank you for having me, and you all are beautiful, and probably more so than you have come to realize yet. But what I meant by that, in case Satan, okay, you got to remember who's in control of Satan or the devil or whatnot. Okay, Satan was fallen, but hold on, the one that came to deliver the message, guess what he had to do? He had to be redeemed. right? The one we call the Messiah, the master, the teacher. And he said in there, he said, I was there from the beginning. Even when they, in the Jewish, nation, they come and say, oh, our father is Abraham. And he said, before Abraham was, I am. He said, I was there from the very beginning. Now, see, in day one in Genesis, okay, there was nothing. In day one, it is spoken and written in English language, says, let there be light. That's day one. Now, you think about the word one, to become whole, because everybody says the Holy Spirit. You think of it, Holy Spirit or Holy Spirit. To be whole is to not to be divided, to be one. And he was one with the Father. All right. It's there. So if there was no light, because God spoke and said, let there be light, that means there was no light. So what was God then existing of if he always was, always is, and always will be? Darkness. That's why scientists are discovering this dark energy. So God is portrayed as darkness. And then the light, Lucifer, which means light, the morning star, right, came. And it's all pre-planned. And it's a beautiful thing. But Satan can do nothing without the permission or authority of the Most High. Just remember that. Do not fear, because he's the one that's going to return in these other names, and he's going to bring hell upon earth to all those that did not receive the message and the truth.
Well, you make sure you come back on Wednesday. You can like and follow and subscribe so that you are notified when we
I
come
will
on
just
live
say
again.
last word is don't fall for all the religions. Don't fall for the isms. That's what's blinding people. That's what's distracting people. You are that you are. Don't let anybody get in there. Study the words. Do word etymology, and you will find out, because pure religion, that is, as it's discussed, is to visit the fatherless. How can one become fatherless if we're all from our mom and dads, right? How is that possible? When you discount or you don't claim the father, you become fatherless. And it says to be visited. The word visited doesn't mean what you think it means. It means to afflict. So the government and all these so-called elites and all the powers that be that man calls evil, because remember, it's also written, what man calls evil is good in the eyes of God, trying to wake people up to afflict you, to
make sure you
visit
come
the
back.
fatherless.
Make sure you come back then. We're gonna we can go all night with this. So
Hey,
I won't keep you
be
all.
blessed, and may all your branches
Likewise.
become full of fruit.
All right.
Likewise,
Bless
sir.
y'all.
I want to read one more comment before we hop off. I want to also, in addition to my panelists, thank you guys for coming on tonight and making our live what it was. Our commenters, everyone in our comments tonight, viewing, thank you so much. I'll end this with, looks like a quote here. I don't know where he got this from Terry Cotton. It says, 2 hearts beat within my chest. One is foul and one is blessed. The one I feed will dominate. And that, to me, rings true. I appreciate you all. Saj and I will see you again soon. Make sure you like and follow and subscribe to find when we will be going live next or debating next. You guys have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. How do I get off?